And if you're not here, let's get it as close. You can stay about where you are, but
okay.
Yeah. And if you don't have a social media, which is fine, but if you're trying to do anything with content, such as acting, modeling, photography, writing, music, event coordination, anything, you have to have it.
I know. That's like, it's such a struggle, like especially as an artist, because I feel like you want to make content that people really like. And so you're on social media to do that, but then that's not the stuff that goes viral or the stuff people appreciate. So it's like, oh, I should just delete everything and move on with my life. And then you're like, wait, I need it.
I know, it's hard. It's hard. When did you find yourself? Well, do you want to say who you are and what you do, and then we can go from there? Just
Should
for those
I talk
listening.
to the camera?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. We could just be straight on like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure how much you've I guess researched what I do.
Very little, but there's only so much that you'll have available, and I could figure
out. Of course,
You know.
yeah. So I mean, I do a lot of stuff. I feel like that's every artist. You know, you're a multi-hyphenate. You're like, oh yeah, I do this. But truthfully, I started modeling at a really young age, and then I started getting into photography. I started editing videos when I was like 8 years old. So that was like my biggest passion was like video editing. I used to make like Toontown animated videos. Nice. And like I used to like make animated animated videos when I was younger. And that was like my whole thing that I wanted to do. And then I started spinning off into like making music, writing poetry. I was in dance my whole life, so I do a lot of stuff. You know, anything that has to do with art or just creation or, you know, the ability to be involved in that space is just something that I've just tried to, you know, get into as much as possible. Even if I'm not good at it, even if I'm not like, oh, I'm a professional, this, you know. I think that nowadays anyone can do anything. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not good at it, you know, if you say, oh, you know, I'm a musician, it doesn't mean you have to be a pro. It doesn't mean you have to be like the next Juice WRLD. You know, you could just be like, oh, yeah, I love music. You know what I mean? And I create it for myself. So, yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
That's great. I mean, it's the only way to actually know who you are and what you want to do is to just try it. Just do it.
That's so
and
true.
Things will start sticking, and you'll start to also realize, like, okay, maybe these three things I excel at. That thing I'll keep on the back burner. Maybe I'll do it my whole life, but it won't.
Yeah.
Maybe people won't see the light of day, or it won't see the light of day. People won't see it, but that's okay. I know I could still do it, but it doesn't. It's not my forte, you know, and that's okay too. But the only way to know is to try, and it's really frustrating when others who don't live that lifestyle or aren't into it judge you for it, and they're like, "Oh, you're not even that great at that. Why are you doing so much?" It's like, I'm just trying to figure things out. You know?
Wow, yeah. I think that was something that I had to overcome myself because, you know, when you're in this space, like I obviously have parents that didn't understand. They were like, why don't you join the army? Why don't you become a doctor? And up until I was like 17, I wanted to become a doctor. And I was like, I'm going to go to medical school. And then I really sat with myself and I was like, I hate school. Why would I go through 10, 20 more years of it? Like, no. And, you know, also being, you know, I feel like from a lot of high school, like since I started modeling when I was 16, a lot of the people from high school would judge me and they're like, oh, you're not a model, you're fake, you know. I loved it, I enjoyed doing it, but I was so scared that people were going to judge me. And, you know, just because I was trying it out. And, you know, I was also scared to release music because I was like, oh no, what if it's not good and people just judge me right off the bat? You know, obviously, you know, we see these amazing artists nowadays and we see them portraying themselves in like this beautiful light. And you're like, you don't see all the stuff that went on before that, like all the work they did on themselves, all the healing or all the music that they created before they went famous and probably deleted all their bad stuff. You know what I mean? So I think it's like interesting to have like a frame of reference for artists and see, you know, their journey. But it's so scary to put out that first group of work that isn't that great and just be judged.
Well, it's got to be extra hard doing it with your body.
Oh, definitely.
You know, I know nothing about that.
About modeling?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, do I look like a model to you? Like,
well, I mean, if you take pictures of yourself, you know?
Yeah, I guess I've had a couple photos, but it's more or less for like promoting the fests I do or this thing or that thing or an event or other bands or an accomplishment, but it's not like traditional modeling in the way that you may be doing it. You know, I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Well, the industry is definitely hard. It definitely was hard to be judged for my body, especially since, you know, I've been rejected a million times. Like not by men per se, but like by modeling agencies, by people saying I wasn't good enough. You know, even being skinny, they're like, you're not skinny enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or you don't look like this person, or your hair isn't curly enough, or your hair isn't straight enough, or your skin isn't tan, or your skin isn't pale, or, oh, you have a hand tattoo. Nope, sorry. So, I mean, it's
Do they
just the
want
littlest.
people with, sorry to cut you off, do they want people with no tattoos?
It depends. So,
Oh, okay.
for high fashion modeling, typically, you know, when you're doing runway, they don't want anyone just covered in tattoos. They want a very clean, blank slate. That's at least what I've been told my whole life, is they want a canvas. You know what I mean? Like very just, you know, very standout features. And they want someone that they can really like put their artistic touch on with makeup, hair, fashion, whatever. So either you're covered in tattoos and that's your whole thing, and like you're a model that, you know, works for really edgy brands, or you don't have any. I'm in the in-between where I have
Yeah.
a few.
And one on your hand, nonetheless, which is a
Yes.
very, like,
Yes.
that's a very questionable place to put it if you're not going to have many. Usually people get to the hand once they've had a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But to go to the hand, you're like, oh, no.
You're like, what are you doing with your life?
You're shooting
Why did you
yourself
do
in the
that?
foot.
Well, I don't know. I just saw it, and funny enough, I have love and I have fear right here. I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah, I see it.
And then I have the
on wrist.
rose. And funny enough, I was actually, both times I was in Miami and got them at the same tattoo shop, but it wasn't the same trip. It was like 2 years apart. This one was for the love and fear, was from watching Donnie Darko and getting like a spur of inspiration and just being like, I want to get a tattoo for the first time. And they were like, oh, okay. And so I did that. And then this one was my first trip with my boyfriend. And I just was like, I love roses. You know, he got
Trip
a
like
tattoo.
psychedelic trip? Or like,
No, vacation. No.
You know, in this room when people say trip sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
no. We could talk about that later, but...
I would love to.
Yeah, no, just for our first vacation. So he got a tattoo, so I was like, I want it to be special, you know what I mean? So I got a tattoo. And the tattoo artist looked at me and he was like, you have no other tattoos except for these. Why do you want to get one on your hand? And I was like, well, it's beautiful. And, you know, it's meaningful to me, you know? Like, I want to get a tattoo on my hand.
Even they were like, what are you doing?
I was like, I don't care. Like, when someone tells me something, I'm like, I don't listen. It's really bad. But they were like, are you sure about that? You're not going to be able to get a job. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to get a job where? Like, I do all this creative work, you know what I mean? I'm not working in a corporate office, so I didn't care. But then I was like, oh, fuck. I'm a model.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well. I mean, I still get gigs. I still, you know, it's really easy to cover up with makeup.
They cover it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal, but, you know, it's just little things that they nitpick that you, like, look at yourself and you're like, damn. Like, I didn't even notice that, but they're like, oh, you know, you have a nose bump. You know, that's not good. You need to have a specific nose shape or specific eye
They
shape.
just straight up tell you that?
Yeah, they're very harsh.
What do you do about these imperfections? It's crazy because it's like, they're not even imperfections. I think that it makes a person more natural, like who they are,
Yeah.
more beautiful. I don't understand why
Absolutely. I
that
think
matters.
the modeling industry is going towards the more acceptance, but in a way that isn't like, it's still a way to make them money. Like, I know
Yeah.
it sounds messed up, but like, I don't know, what's her name? Rami Strijad or something? I don't know her name. Sorry. But she was on L'Oreal or Rimmel London, and she had the gap tooth, and everyone was like, oh, you're never going to be a model, you have a gap tooth. And now, you know, every model that has a gap tooth gets signed, you know what I mean? Because it's unique.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that are unique that just aren't conventionally attractive that people, like, modeling industries don't appreciate yet. One of them being definitely a nose bump. Most models that I've seen don't have one.
Yeah.
So honestly, that I don't feel self-conscious about it like I used to.
I don't even, can you turn sideways? I
Sure.
don't, that's nothing.
Yeah,
That's
like,
very, like, I even
Thank
notice it
you.
because it's, like, natural. It's, like, most people have some type of movement in their nose. Like,
Yeah.
it's very rare someone's just, like, a straight line on the
Exactly.
nose.
Unless, you know, of course, they, you know, people get work done or, you know, some cultures do have that type of nose, but it was definitely a struggle. Like, I'm only 21. You know, I'm still on that journey of,
You're
you know,
so young.
self-love. I know. Isn't that crazy?
How old do you think I am?
27?
Nice. That's a very nice compliment. 31.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so bad at guessing ages.
It's okay. That's fine. That's a good thing. I try to stay young.
You look young.
Thank
so,
you.
yeah,
I
and you're
try,
doing, like,
you know.
art, which makes you young and keeps you young.
Keeps
you know
my
what I
spirit
mean?
alive. And then obviously health and exercises.
Absolutely.
That's the next thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Definitely.
I have a question about
Sure.
modeling. I noticed just by existing on this planet with how much modeling there is everywhere you look, that it's usually more trim and thin women.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, like, how do they tell you that? Is that implied? And it's almost not that there's malnourishment going on or anorexia, but okay, maybe there is based on the smile and
Not that it's funny. It's
not
just,
funny.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that pushed or is it just under the table? Like, you better stay like a little bit less than average with weight. Like, you better be a couple pounds, 5-10 pounds less than you should be, like always.
So personally, I haven't had any negative experiences in that regard. I think there's two parts of it. It's the internalized like message, like this is how I should look, this is how I should be, and then it's what agents will actually tell you. And there's good agencies, there's bad agencies. You know, that's with everything in life. There's the good and the bad. There are some agents that will directly say to your face, you're fat, you need to lose 10 pounds, or I'm not giving you this job, or I'm not booking you for this. Like, and I do think there are some agents that want you to work out and be happy and like be healthy. You know, for example, my best friend Nakaya, she's an amazing model, super talented. Her agent really cares about her. Like, they go out to lunch. They're like, we want you to work out. We want you to take care of your body so that it looks healthy. You know, when you're a model, this sucks to say, but your product is literally your body. It has to look, you know, good.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to look out of shape or like you're not taking care of yourself. So there are agents that will directly say like, oh, you're way too fat, like, or you need to lose 10 inches, and you're like, what the heck? Like, how do I even do that? I'm already a stick. But there are some good agents out there, and I think that it's important for every model before they get into the industry to know their boundaries and know what respect looks like and know like, hey, I'm good enough the way I am. Yes, it's a cutthroat industry, but you don't have to take, you know, BS from anyone in this life. So it is rough because, you know, it is a very competitive industry, and a lot of girls will want to potentially even harm themselves to get ahead, which sucks, and I think that's awful, but I do see that modeling has been moving towards a more inclusive light. Like, there are way more plus-size models now, you know, seeing how, you know, Victoria's Secret kind of died out, and then it went to, like, I don't know if you know anything about Victoria's Secret, you're a dude.
When I was 15, I'd be dared to run into the Victoria's Secret, you know, store in the mall. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
So you don't know much about the modeling side of that.
I know nothing about
well,
modeling.
You know, where, like...
like nothing.
Well, I mean, you know how a Victoria's Secret angel looks, right?
Yeah,
like on the ads and everything.
Of course.
Just very slim, very beautiful.
Right.
And like, I think Savage X Fenty by Rihanna kind of changed that. Like, that was the first time you see runway models that are not conventionally like that type of pretty. Like, that was more the 90s. Like, where having a fat ass was seen as like gross. And now it's like people who are a little bit overweight or a little bit curvy or women that are not, you know, full figured, they can just feel beautiful and confident and sexy, and they're celebrated for their beauty, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I think that it can be a double-edged sword because, you know, sometimes I feel like brands are just doing it for the money, you know what I mean? To be like, oh, look at how diverse and inclusive we are.
Look how PC we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in the end, it does help people, you know, seeing people, like, people are like, oh my God, it's someone that has the same body as me. I'm good enough.
Yeah.
Whoa. And they're being celebrated for how sexy they are. You know what I mean? Or, you know, especially for Black women, that was a huge issue where it was mostly white women being represented. And now, you know, there's way more Black women being represented nowadays. They're still not the majority. You know, it's not equal still, but, you know, they are being represented for the first time, and now young girls can be like, oh my God, it's someone that actually looks like me, you know, which is really cool. So I'm hoping it goes forward in that, you know, trajectory a little bit.
It seems like it is. It seems like almost every industry is, you know. I have a question for you. You said somewhere in that long explanation, you mentioned a friend and said that she was a really good model. What does that mean to be a talented or good model?
Well, I think obviously everyone has a different definition of it. You know what I mean? Modeling, there's there's so many aspects to it, you know what I mean? Like you could be an Instagram model and be really good at that. You could be an influencer and be insanely good at creating that type of content. Or let's say you're a lifestyle model. You know, lifestyle is, I feel like you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to try and explain the best
You're
I
like,
can.
who is this dinosaur I'm talking to?
I was like, oh, a lifestyle. And you just looked at me like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You remind me of my students a lot.
Are you a teacher?
Yeah, I'm a professor. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
At ISU, yeah, at Illinois State
Nice.
University. And a lot of my students are around your age. And they, in between classes or when I crack a dad joke, they'll look at me and with that look like, this
Like, you don't
man
know what
has-
I'm talking
he's from a
about,
different
dude.
planet. I'm like, I don't, not only am I a decade older, but I'm also of the mindset where I kind of stay away from a lot of pop culture things. So I never really know what people are talking about. And
Why is that?
it just doesn't it doesn't attract me naturally.
Gotcha.
Like it's just not where my mind goes. I'm
Oh,
like trying to
definitely.
figure out how this song was produced or how to write a song or when I'm going to have band
So you're not
practice.
looking up the Kardashians.
No,
news,
I'm like, I'm
of
trying to
course.
plan like a festival and like make things happen and figure out like how to grade this project and
Mm-hmm.
plan a curriculum and all these things. So I'm like, I miss a lot of stuff just goes past and I'm
I
like,
understand,
I don't know
yeah.
what that is. So anyway, go back to what you're saying though, the different types of models and what makes a
Oh,
good or
yes.
talented model.
Well, like I said, there's so many different aspects and different. Oops, sorry.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry, Mike. But there's so many different aspects. Like there's lifestyle modeling, there's high fashion, which is the stuff you see in Vogue. You know, the high fashion magazines. Like designers will pay really good money to those models. There's runway modeling. There's so many different aspects to it. I think if you just understand your niche and your craft, and you really put an effort, like. It sucks to say, and I'm not going to put down anyone because that's not what I believe in. I believe, you know, women should empower each other and, you know, uplift each other. But there are some girls that I feel like they want to be models or they want to be in modeling, and then they just think that you just stand there and you're just hot, and then you just get pictures. Like, someone's just like, they're just standing there and they're just
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm hot, like, can someone take my picture and I like become famous?
Yeah.
And you know, some girls get that, you know, look at TikTok. Some girls are stand there for 12 seconds and do the most basic dance and they get like 40 million followers and you're just like, oh, okay. But as someone who's literally like studied it, like religiously read through magazines, would watch posing videos, it became like an art to me. And I guess that's why I was like, oh, I can see how a good model is. Not because I'm like judging people who are like, oh, I just want to, you know, have fun with it. It's not like that. It's just that I see, you know, the people that put in the dedication and put in the hours and put in the time to understanding how lighting works, understanding how, you know, you should move your face, how you should emote, how you should pose your body, you know, flows like that. Like, it's kind of like a dance, to be
I was
honest.
literally going to say it almost sounds like a still dance.
It is. That's a lot of people when they see me posing, they're like, "Oh, like did you ever used to be a dancer?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I did dance for almost 14 years." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that makes a lot of sense. I never
Yeah.
thought about that until you said it.
yeah,
When you were
it's-
describing it, I was like, sounds like dancing.
exactly, because I mean, you're like a figure. You know, you're not a clothing rack per se, but you know, you put the clothes on, and it's your job to showcase it, to show the story behind it. It's like acting, kind of.
Yeah. It's actually funny
Yeah.
you say that because you realize when people pose for photos, like
Mm-hmm.
a family photo or a friend photo, everyone it looks pretty awkward. And
Yeah.
like, they kind of look like they don't know how to like pose.
Some people don't know what to do when they're getting a
And
photo
it's just like-
taken. They're,
just like-
what do I do? And yeah, and I'm on the photography end as well, so I know, you know, when I'm taking someone's photos, sometimes if they have no modeling experience or they're just super shy, they're like, can you help me? Like, what do I do? I don't get it. And I'm just like, girl, just relax. I got you. So I'll, you know, try to pose them, you know, tell them. But I feel like over time, you kind of learn your angles. Like, a lot of models know their angles. They know what looks good, what doesn't look good, you know, which side of their face they want to show, or just, you know, go-to posing flows that they can do. Yeah, it kind of becomes like a second nature, like a dance kind of. And when I'm watching other models pose, like if I go to a shoot, I can see the models that have put in that effort and, you know, really draw inspiration from something. Like if you're doing a 1950s shoot, you know, you're not going to be doing the same crazy poses that you would see in like a Mugler ad. You would do something a little bit more like classy and refined. So it is kind of like acting. You're kind of embodying that style of the photo, and you're also embodying the fashion that you're in. So yeah, there's a lot of parts that go into it, but I definitely think it's an art that needs to be studied and learned, to be honest.
No, that makes more sense hearing it from someone who's done it. I feel like most of the time, being a model just comes with like, is she physically attractive?
Yeah.
Like, and not even universally, but just kind of in a general way. Because some people even have certain preferences where they don't even like certain, like the model traditional, like thinner body or taller height, which is another thing. Like, what?
Oh, my leg was falling asleep.
It's interesting because that's all people tend to think of as models. Like, oh, they're born with like naturally like a beautiful body. Like they're not. What are they really doing? And so like, what are you really doing besides the dance pose? It probably how many hours for like a photo shoot are you doing these poses for? It seems exhausting.
Let me tell you,
it seems exhausting.
It is, and I think again, I'm not a professional model. Like I'm not like doing this like to the standard a lot of models are, but I'm not going to talk down on myself either. You know, I do get consistent work. You know, I've worked for years to try to build up my name and like my reputation, at least in the city of Chicago. And you know, when people book me, I want to give them like quality. You know what I mean? Like when you pay me for a photo shoot, I'm not going to show up and just, you know, stand there. You know what I mean? So I really, you know, try to understand the theme of their shoot, really study it, try to get kind of a vibe for like the type of pose dance I would do. And it can take, you know, not only but the prepping and, you know, sometimes I would provide wardrobe or do my own makeup and do my hair. That takes hours, but also posing, you know what I mean? For specific poses, obviously, you know, they're more simple. Like if you're doing a simple boudoir shoot, you're not going to do these crazy outlandish poses. You do something a little bit more simple, but you're still doing the flows. I've done swimwear shoots where it's 30 degrees outside and I'm in the lake. You know what I mean? So I've also been on that other spectrum where you're doing something that's super tough, but because I love it so much and I know that the end image is going to be so great, I'm like, this is so worth it. Like no one else is going to do this. So
whose idea is it to put you in the lake at 30 degrees?
I think it was, oh my gosh. So I don't think it was 30 degrees out. I think I'm lying. I think it was like 50 or 60, but the water was 30 degrees. And it was this photographer named Ed. I have to shout him out because he really helped my modeling career. He's like the first photographer that really agreed to really push for me and like actually work with me for free, which was crazy because, you know, these lights are like $3,000. The camera's like $5,000 and you're like putting me in front of your camera and really helping me grow my confidence. Like he was awesome. Like he really, really just like helped me out a lot. But we ended up going to, I think, Indiana Dunes one day in the fall, and it was beautiful, you know what I mean? And in the fall, there's not a lot of people there. So it was me, another model, and another model, and it was him. And the sun was setting, and it was getting super cold, but I was like, oh, but it looks so cool. I want to go in the water. And he was like, that's a great idea. And then I got in the water, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I think I regret this, but he took a photo and he showed me how it looked and I was like, oh, I got to do it. And he was like, you don't have to go in the water. And I was like, I'm going to go in the water because it looks so cool. So we did like some really cool swimwear shots and it turned out really beautiful. And I still appreciate those images. They're still super gorgeous. So yeah, I mean, it was a mutual thing. It's not like anyone was forcing me to do it. But, you know, as a model, you're not just standing there. You know what I mean? You really doing your thing. You're doing your craft. You know, it's an art form. And I think that, you know, people should definitely appreciate it more. I'm not saying that's all models. Some models, you know, what was I going to say? I mean, I feel like there's some models or influencers that maybe take it for granted a little bit. Like, I hate saying this, but like Kendall Jenner, who just had rich parents, you know, just put her into the game.
Yeah.
But there are models that work super, super hard and they want to get to the top or they just want to, you know, at least make a living off of it. Like, I don't want to be famous by any means. I literally just want to be able to survive off of my craft, which I feel like every artist wants.
Absolutely.
So,
and there's individuals like that in every avenue of art. There's people whose parents were executives at a record company, or their dad was in a band, or their mom was a singer, so they have a leg up.
Yeah.
Even in STEMs, like the science and technology, mathematics, parents who might have been professors or scientists might have helped get their
Really?
kids. Oh yeah,
Wow.
there's issues with nepotism in every field.
That's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah, all fields have it. Some worse than others. If you go into things like the music industry and the television and film industry, it's pretty darn crazy how much nepotism there is.
Oh, definitely.
And
I mean,
yeah, it can be insulting. You're like, I worked so hard, and all your dad did was call someone for you.
Yep.
You know, but those who do it on their own, I think it means that much more to them.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, not being handed the whole thing, and it's got to be hard doing it as like. Do you ever run into issues being a young woman, like being photographed by guys, working with guys, exposing your body? Like, are there any issues that come with it? There's got to be. I don't know how there couldn't be.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough that I haven't had any serious issues happen. I've heard horror stories, of course. It's a male-dominated industry, you know? And not only that, but, you know, unfortunately, not even just modeling, in my whole life, I've had to deal with that. And not just because, you know, oh, you're a model. When I was working a 9-to-5 doing marketing, I had to deal with that.
Yeah. Because you're a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm doing photography, I deal with that. You know what I mean? And it's not like, and by that I mean like sexism or them sexualizing me or thinking I'm less than I really am, or I'm not as smart as a man, or I'm not getting the same opportunities. I don't like talking about, you know, the past because, you know, I try to heal from everything and move on. But I was fortunate enough to work in a really beautiful movie studio, and my boss was awesome. He was a great guy, but he did have some, I guess, problems with me. And I, you know, had a coworker who was one of my closest friends. He was really dope, loved him to death, but he definitely had issues, and he would scam people a lot. And I was like, okay, maybe I should distance myself from this person as to protect my brand. You know what I mean? I don't want to be involved and, you know, be like women empowerment and then hang out with someone who doesn't respect women or doesn't respect the art that I do. So basically, we had issues with that, and he would always get opportunities and always get second chances, and always, you know, he'd just mess up so many times. I almost swore, and I'm not sure if I can do that.
You could say whatever you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So he fucked up so many times. And again, loved him to death, but there was a lot of issues that had come up, and he was like, oh, I just want to give him a second chance. He's like my son. I love him so much. And I'm like, what about me? You know, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what about me? I do all this hard work. I am just as talented as him. You know, I'm just as creative. I'm just as capable. Why are you not giving me all these second chances? Why are you not giving me all these opportunities? You know what I mean? Eventually, I parted ways with them, and I'm actually at a job now where, you know, I actually have honest conversations with my boss, which I really appreciate. If there's ever a time where I'm like, hey, I need this, you know, he helps me out with it, and I love him to death. He's an awesome guy. But yeah, I've dealt with it my whole life, you know, and I felt like I'm a young woman, you know what I mean? I didn't have the best upbringing, and I didn't have a lot of like leaders that I could look up to, especially strong women that are like, oh, I can say no, or I can demand respect, you know what I mean? So I had to learn it myself just from constantly being pushed down. Like people constantly being like, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, or I don't believe in you, or I'm not going to give you this thing or this opportunity. So I had to literally do it myself. Like there was no other way. So I think it was a blessing in disguise, low-key, because I'm a lot stronger now, and, you know, I know when someone's disrespecting me, and I don't tolerate it anymore, and I have no problem, like, walking away from someone or walking away from a job, because I'm like, the universe has got me, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's hard for women, but I think it's essential, especially when you're in the artistic industry. You know, it's almost every avenue is male-dominated. As much as I hate to say it, the music industry is run by men. The modeling industry is run by men. Cosmetic companies are even run by men.
I hate to break it to you. Everything's ran by, by men. Technology industry, the food industry, the sports industry.
Exactly.
Every industry is ran by men. And it's funny saying that, being a man. But that's why I do this. That's why you're here. You know, it's like I personally want to know more about these things out of curiosity. And I think people who listen, men listening, should know, and then women can know, like, oh, yes, like Amen. Like, thanks for
Amen,
saying
sis.
something.
Yes, yeah.
It goes both ways. It helps both people and
absolutely.
anybody in between. It helps all different types of people to have people speak that normally wouldn't. Like, I don't know why I would ever run into you and talk about this.
I'm a pretty open person, so I've just had like random deep conversations with strangers. It's happened multiple times, especially in the industry I'm in. Like, I work at a photo studio now, so like people will come in and just talk to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I deal with a lot of people who are very spiritual, who are very into art, obviously, and those tend to align most of the time. I've met a lot of people who are, just very similar to me, so we connect really easily, and it's not a problem to just like talk. You know what I mean? And I think that's really awesome. That's why I love being in the art industry. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know what it's like. You meet people and you just are on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's happening right now. I feel
Yeah.
very much.
Why? You never done that before?
Not like that, no.
Oh, okay.
For those who are just listening, I don't know, we like did a weird flickering things with our fingertips.
Oh yeah, it's a wiggle wiggle like a jazz like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Or
Yeah.
like Rocket Power, the wiggly wiggly. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. I don't know. I do a lot of random stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
So you work at a photography studio. You do photography there, or do you model there, or both?
I do both.
Both?
Well, I'm the studio manager / marketing. I do a lot of stuff. I'm basically his second hand. I'm his first employee. So I left my job at the other movie studio and I immediately started working there. And I was like, this is so much better. I love it. He pays me more. He actually respects me. He gives me more opportunities. Like, he really, really helps me out.
Mm-hmm.
And he is such a talented photographer. So being under his wing and seeing, what he does is such a blessing. And, I just feel really blessed to be there because, like, I've worked so hard just trying to build up myself, you know what I mean? And, like, I guess build up my skill set and be valuable. So, like, to actually work in a place that recognizes that and he's like, oh, you can edit videos? Let me give you some more responsibility. Or you can shoot videos, you can direct. Let me give you more responsibility. Oh, you can do photos? Cool. And you know how to direct models? Let me give you more responsibility. And it's so awesome to be, in that position because right now I'm not in a financial place where I could afford to do my own studio or buy a really expensive camera. But he has that and he helps me grow myself. So, yeah, I owe him a lot. He's really awesome and it's a blessing.
Do you aspire to do that, to have your own studio where you can be your own photographer and kind of direct everything yourself?
Kind of like what you were saying before, how you have to try different things. I love it, and I love being in the creative industry. I don't know if I'd want to do that. I'm not at that point in my life where I'm like sure yet.
Yeah.
Again, I'm only 21, so
You
I don't
lean
know.
more towards modeling then? You'd rather just be the model?
I do a lot of stuff, so I don't know what I want to do.
Right, that's true. You do. And music too, right?
Yeah.
You haven't even gotten there yet.
No,
So
I do a lot.
how did that happen, music?
Well, I've been making music since I was like 15, but not in a way that was like, professional by any means. I just would play the piano and just make cute little tunes and just sing. And, I just remember growing up, I didn't really have like my parents around. So it was literally just me all the time. And I would just go in my basement and just like listen to music. And I would just dance and I'd sing and I'd just create, and it was like a cute little like place for me to just create. And
Were you an only child or?
Oh no, I had my brother too, but obviously, when you have a brother the same age as you, he doesn't want to hang out with you,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But, he would do his own thing. Sometimes, we would play it with like toys together and stuff, but as we got older, like in the pre-teens, teens, your brother doesn't want to hang out with you, you know what I mean? So it was mostly me, and I would just chill with myself and like listen to music and create, and like I love to paint. I had a little art studio, like a makeshift art studio in our laundry room.
Nice.
So I would just paint and, play the piano and dance, and I'd literally download scripts off the internet and just like pretend to act. So like, yeah, I did a lot of stuff. I just love to, create.
And so you're still figuring it all out right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And what are the three main things you just love more than anything? If you could pick three.
I can't pick 3.
You can't even pick 3?
No.
Wow, it's that much of you just love doing it all.
So I did some research on myself, like not to keep talking about myself, but I guess that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Well, I'm certainly not going to talk about myself. So
Why not?
I mean, you can ask me whatever you want, but you know.
Okay, I definitely will, because I don't want to be like, oh, me. But I did some research on like human design types, and there's like a bunch of different design types and how your energy flows through your body. And I got manifesting generator, which explained so much to me. And it was like, oh, you're someone that has a lot of passions, a lot of different directions, and that's okay. My whole life, I told myself, oh, I have to focus on one thing and get really good at it. And that's the only way life is supposed to be. And I was like, I'm kicking myself because there's no way I can do that. You know, I just like, I can't. I've tried to focus on just modeling. I can't do it. I've tried to focus on just photography. I can't do it. Something's always pulling me or calling me to do something else. Like, it just kind of is a spur of the moment thing. Like, if I'm inspired to write a song, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm inspired to, if I hear a song from someone and I want to direct their music video, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's not my thing. Like, I'm just going to try it. So it basically explained that when you're a manifesting generator, your purpose in life is to pull a bunch of things that aren't technically related and bring them together into something beautiful. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Because, like, I forgot what it's called, but it's like synesthesia or something where, you know, you can see, like,
sound, taste, colors. Your senses
yes.
kind of overlap with
That's
each other.
how it's always been for me. Like, someone will play a song and I'm like, oh, it sounds like the color purple. People be like, what drugs are you on?
Have
and
you
I'm
ever
like,
been tested for it?
No, I've always been like that.
Yeah.
And so when I would talk about it, people were like, what are you talking about? I'm
Yeah.
like, it just sounds purpley. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds purpley. And so, like, it just, like, kind of like all art to me overlaps. Like, video overlaps with music. Music overlaps with dance. Dance overlaps with, like, I don't know. Just there's so many different moving aspects to it. But when they come together, it's just like, it all makes sense. So that's why I've never felt the need to put, like, myself into a box, because I feel like if I wanted to make a song, I could direct the music video and make it fit into that theme, and I could, like, you know, connect with other artists if I can't do it and tell them, hey, this is kind of what I feel or this is my vision. So yeah, I mean, I just kind of stopped trying to put myself in, like, a box and just was like, you know what? If it doesn't make sense, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the universe will guide me into the exact spot that I'm supposed to be. But, you know, I don't want to be someone that's like, oh yeah, I'm a this, and that's the only thing I ever did with my life. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what my purpose is. Like, I don't think I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna be, like, an author, and that's it. In, like, 20 years, that's all I do. Like, I think I'm gonna actually, like, I don't know, just be an artist, I guess. I don't know.
No, I mean, it sounds like you have a very creative heart and mind, spirit.
Yeah.
Like, you enjoy the overlapping and intertwining of everything that is self-expression,
Absolutely.
which is a good thing. I think that's a good baseline to be at your age, because sometimes, I mean, I've always been very similar, and I've honed in more as I've gotten older, but I've had a decade more than you to figure that out. And I still find myself doing so many different creative things. But it's a good thing to have all that now, because, yeah, you will start figuring out, like, okay, this works better than that. But again, how we started this conversation, you won't know unless you do it.
Exactly.
And to not have that fear, like, you seem very fearless in your pursuit, and you're just doing
thank
these
you.
things. So, yeah, keep doing it.
Thank you.
And they will start coming to light. You'll be like, okay, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah,
You know,
there's so many things that I'm just like, I've tried that I'm like, okay, I don't think that's something I do. Like, low key, I thought about that with photography. I was like, I have no desire to be a photographer. I hate it. I don't want to do it. And then I picked up a camera and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I think slowly as I get older, I'm realizing how much of that stuff can connect. You know, you don't have to be just photographer. When you're a photographer, you can also do videography. You can also be a director. You can also make music. There's no rule that says, you know, you can only do one thing. So I think it's pretty cool that, you know, yes, I think I'll narrow it down, but I think, you know, there's nothing that says, you know, you can't have hobbies, you know, you don't have to capitalize on everything. You know what I mean?
You're an artist. It's sometimes you could simplify it. I am an artist. I am a creative. I know there's not much merit amongst a lot of adults who, when they hear that,
Oh, yeah.
it starts to happen more if you can prove yourself and you do it for a living. You actually get paid to do it. Then people, for some reason, they start to take you seriously. But if you're just doing it for fun or trying to get paid, people are like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Like you're making pottery in your basement. What are you? Go get a job. Don't you need a 401k? Like
if I heard that, I'd be like, you have a kiln in your basement? Like you're making pottery?
That's so sick.
That's cool.
And like you're doing it just for passion? That's so cool. Like you're not a soulless being in the system.
Well, we are still young and not damaged by life yet. I feel like once
Jesus. What the fuck?
I feel like once you have kids,
oof,
you can't help but be cynical because everything is like you don't want them to die, you don't want them to starve. You have to make money, and if you're not making money with the pottery, then what are you doing? Like you got to get out there and make money. So when young and on your own and without children, it's a lot easier.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna say this. I have no idea how true this is. Do models on average tend to not have kids, or if they do, way older in life?
So the weird thing about modeling is, so women tend to, just as a whole, our entire species, I guess, we tend to kind of get discarded as we age. It really sucks, but I've noticed it. Women that are 39 are not as appreciated or not as seen as sexy or, even valuable in a work setting. You know what I mean? Like, I think I went away from the microphone. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But especially in modeling, a lot of agencies don't even want people that are over 22. I'm 21.
And I'm 1 year left.
I'm kind of scared. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm like, damn, like, is that it? Like, when I turn 22, 23, is that it? Like, I can't even try anymore?
Why that young of an age?
They want girls that are like 13, 14.
Oh, they're looking for a certain type of girl.
I mean, they like people that just look young. Like the baby face, very clean skin, very clean everything. They think that as you age, you're less valuable, which is really sad. I don't know any models I know models that are doing this like freelance, but I don't know any signed models that are over 30. I don't know a single one.
So
I'm sure
age.
I'm sure there are, but none that are very famous, to be honest, unless they're already famous. You know what I mean? Rihanna can go a model. It's not a problem. It doesn't matter her age. Jennifer Lopez could do that, but like a normal woman like me, like if I was 30 and tried to get into the modeling industry, unless I had such unique, striking features that someone would pass out when they saw me.
Like just the perfect genetics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no. Like it makes me sad.
It's a young person's game.
Yeah. That's how I feel like even music is like that. Like there's not a lot of people that, past 27, like are like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper. Like go get a job. Like what are you still trying to do? You know what I mean? Like if you haven't made it by now, like you need to give up, which is so sad.
It's sad. And being a musician and playing in bands, I'll be 32 next week. It's such a side thing because of that. I've had to, luckily my other jobs are very creative and they're very adjacent. I work with musicians all the time, recording them and producing them. But being a musician, I'm like, when would I have time to tour? Like I have things to do. I can't just I could probably get away with a week or two, but then I can't just do months on end. You have to be the musician's a musician. You have to give 9 months, 10 months of your life to it. And at my age now, I could do, but then I have to quit all the other stuff I've been working for 12 years to get to. And it's like, I'm not going to, it's hard to get to there now, but that's okay. Luckily, I enjoy the things I do. But yes, it gets harder with every industry. Acting, musician, modeling seems very young.
Very.
Modeling is like, which is crazy. So how does it work if you're underage? Do your parents have to come with you to these shoots?
My mom had to come with me to every shoot when I was under 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would sign a release and be like, is it okay if your daughter gets photographs? When I turned like 17, it wasn't that huge of an issue. They would still like want, to not, they wouldn't obviously do anything boudoir or super sexual.
What does that mean?
Boudoir is like lingerie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
I wear that.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, okay. You're like, I know what you're talking about.
I was like, I've never even heard of that word before.
Oh, really? So it's just a style of photography.
Okay.
So it's like lingerie, like implied nude stuff. So obviously I wouldn't do that at 17, but when you turn 18, you don't need your parents there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they kind of do want young girls so they can mold them and like make them into stars because they have more time.
Yeah.
And so they think, oh, if we get someone at 13 and literally shape her into the superstar. By the time she's 20, she could be super famous, versus let's get someone at 22 and by the time she's 29, we put in all this effort, now she's 30 and wrinkly.
Yeah.
Which is so
30
messed
and
up.
wrinkly. I don't even see wrinkles on 30-year-olds.
You don't, but that's their mentality. It's really
kinda
messed
dark,
up.
the 13-year-old thing.
Yeah.
Let's shape
Oh.
them at,
Oh, yeah.
they just went through puberty. Let's shape them.
Yes.
Is that
And
why it starts at that age? Because you could start to see the body?
I think so. And not only that, but, you're more... I don't know, there are people obviously that have issues and, are very messed up people that want to take advantage of girls.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Brooke Shields. I don't know if you've heard her story. It was messed up. She did a set for Playboy. This is why I don't support Playboy. I don't purchase their clothing. I don't like them. And I see people like, oh, Playboy's so dope. I'm going to get a Playboy t-shirt. Yeah. And it's it's so gross. I hate Playboy because Brooke Shields did a whole set, a nude set, when she was underage. And no one signed off on it. They were just like, yeah, because her mom wanted so hard for her to be famous and wanted to capitalize the F out of her. And she did, what movie was that? I don't remember, but she was underage and they made her kiss an older man. She was 13 or 10. They made her kiss an older man, sit on this guy's lap, and she's
creepy.
a superstar now, but at what cost?
Yeah, is it worth it for the
And also-
psychological damage?
Exactly. And all those iCarly children that came out and said, oh, this executive, he was super creepy and touched me, blah, 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 blah. Luckily, I never had to go through anything like that. I was 16, 17, and I always looked older than my age, so I think it never was an issue.
You do look a little bit older than your age.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get that a lot, and I think that's why it was never an issue, because I always looked older. At 17, people thought I was 25, and I'm like, what?
I don't know about that.
No, I'm serious.
I would say probably around 25 now, but you're
Yeah.
21.
I just always looked like in my 20s, no matter what, and I think it's just because of the way I carry myself, is because
Yeah.
I speak, I have a little bit more confidence, or I don't know.
The
I don't know
timbre
what
of
it
your
is.
voice, though, is younger.
Oh, yeah,
The pitch
definitely.
of it. It's a more lighter, it's a younger
Should I
one.
talk like this?
That's in 25 or 30 years, you'll be there.
And after 40,000 packs of cigarettes.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
Oh, hell no.
I was going to say, that sounds
No.
like a bad idea for a model.
Yeah, I mean, some of them think it's aesthetic. So.
Really? That sounds like the opposite of making sure you stay young and
Well,
healthy.
shit, it's stressful. You know what I mean? So I can
Well,
understand the
But it's
need
so
for it.
the health of it. A cigarette is anti-health.
But it doesn't make you gain weight.
That's true, but you will age faster.
Then you're out of the industry.
Oh God, you got me there. Yeah, I guess
see?
you're right. Yeah, that's the weight thing is what freaks me out because it's almost like everyone who is a model, especially doing lingerie or swimsuits, is slightly underweight, if not more underweight.
I mean, some women just genetically are very skinny.
Yeah,
for me,
that's true.
I was bullied my whole life because I was skinny. Everyone thought I was anorexic, which I wasn't. I love food. You know what I mean? But everyone thought I was anorexic in high school. I literally vividly remember forgetting my lunch one day and, I didn't have any money. My parents were broke, so I had no money. And I was like, oh, well, I can't even buy lunch and I forgot my lunch. Fuck, I'm just going to sit here and do homework. And this girl came up to me and was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, yes. The fuck? And she was like, oh, I just noticed you haven't been eating lunch. I know, you look really skinny. Are you anorexic? I want to give you food or whatever. And I was like, I'm not fucking, I appreciate it, but that's so weird. You don't know me. And yeah, I was bullied a lot for it. Men would always call me a board and a stick and oh, you're a flat ass, blah, 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 blah. But it's just my body, you know what I mean? And some girls are naturally just very skinny or they have a very high metabolism. But on the contrary, there are some girls that need to fit into this standard, and so they'll harm themselves, which is, I don't condone, I don't support that. I don't think that should be the modeling industry, but it sucks.
Yeah.
And it is a fact of life. So again, it's not every model and it's not every agency, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the number one place my mind will go is just what are they eating? And it's almost like a weird balance of exercise. You don't want to be too ripped. You don't want to be too fit, but you don't want to be you don't want any extra fat. It's a weird.
I mean, look at the Victoria's Secret models. They work out 2 times a day. You know,
But it's probably a very specific workout.
I mean, they do Pilates, bar.
Pilates is probably Pilates and yoga is a
definitely.
great way to like still be very trim and fit without like just shredded skin and muscles everywhere, you know?
I love yoga. Yeah, so that it makes sense. It's a very good exercise, but that's
is
also
that
what they
what
do.
you do for exercise?
I do. It's hard because I low-key I was a student athlete my whole life. I did dance, I did tumbling, I did gymnastics, I did soccer, I did softball.
Oh, okay, so everything.
Yeah, I was madly in love with sports. I loved being active, so that's kind of what I dedicated my life to. The majority of what I did was mostly dance. I was in dance from the time I was 4 years old until I was 18. So literally my whole life was being in sports. And then in high school, I started doing rock climbing, and I fell in love with that. And I was like, oh, I can do this. You know, this is really good exercise. And then slowly I got into college, and I was like, I hate this. I don't know why, but there was no sports for me anymore. You know, I went to a community college, so there wasn't any like teams for me to join or like dance crews for me to join. And there wasn't any rock climbing by me unless I went to a random mountain and started climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
So I just exercised by myself. And so I started just dancing in my room, and that was a form of exercise, or doing yoga. And it's super relaxing, and, you know, it allows me to just like be more present in my body. Because, you know, a lot of times, you know, we're always trying to escape, or we're always in our head. So like being in the body and bringing it back, like having that mindfulness also is super good for modeling. Like being aware of where your arms are, where your feet are, you know, you're not just in this like nervous blur, you're like actually present. So yeah, I really do enjoy yoga, and yeah.
No, it seems like a great exercise for
It
that
is.
job, for modeling.
Oh, definitely,
And
yeah.
that, Pilates, that, and probably even just like a lot, like walking a lot, or just stuff like light cardio, things like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Is that a common thing?
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
sure.
either.
I don't know other models' workout routines. I'm not gonna lie to you, but maybe. I think you're gonna have to get a poll. I think you're gonna have to like 50 models
I
come
don't
in here
even
and just
know.
ask them.
I know one model now, and it's you.
Hey, cool. Nice.
It's like not the world I know. I'm not
That's
privy to
fair.
it. Yeah. It's but it's fascinating. I'm learning a lot, to be
I'm
honest.
glad.
It's such a mysterious thing.
Really
Yeah, I mean, you're just so used to it.
fair.
Like, you have no idea what it's like to,
And I'm
like,
not even like heavy in the industry. That's the thing. I'm freelance. You know
what
what I
would
mean?
you have to move to New York, LA for that?
Not even that. I think Chicago is low-key going to become the next hub. And I've been saying this for years, and I'm actually seeing it come to fruition. Because, you know, people are moving out of New York City. It's too expensive. Or people are coming from LA because
ridiculously
everything's on
expensive.
fire. So, I mean, sorry.
No, it's,
Viva
I
Cali.
mean, LA's on fire, and New York is very expensive.
Exactly. And the energy in Chicago is so much more different than any city I've ever been to. And like, I feel like people here actually care about the art, and they care about each other, which is weird. Like, there are little like sects of people that are just like not, you know, they're jealous or whatever. But I feel like most people actually want to collaborate and
Yeah.
like, you know, work together, which is really cool. I didn't experience that when I was in Miami. You know, no one wanted to work with me.
That's what you get for going to Miami.
Exactly. I went down there and I was like, hey, does anyone want to, you know, collab or like make some art? And everyone was just like, you don't have a big enough ass. A photographer actually said that to me.
Really?
It's like, I only work with models that have BBLs or have
BBL.
a Brazilian butt lift. And just, okay.
Do enlighten me, please.
Oh, sure. I'm surprised you don't know that. So you really aren't privy to the
I
culture.
wasn't kidding.
Okay, so basically it's a very, very, very dangerous surgery that women get where it transfers the fat out of your stomach and your thighs and puts in your ass.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It's very unhealthy. Women die all the time getting it. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you're considering, please don't.
It's called a BBL. I'm gonna start using this slang. Impress my guy friends who also have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
What's up, dude? See that new BBL? Actually, I don't know if you should use it in that context.
Oh, I gotta be careful when I use that one.
Yeah, just be careful. Just be mindful of, I
I'm
guess,
not
the
gonna
people.
use it.
Okay.
I'll use it if I ever see you, but I'm gonna be careful saying it then.
Yeah.
I'm
'cause
just
I
not gonna
definitely-
use it. I'm
yeah.
just glad I know what it is now.
Okay.
Okay, we're
Now
good.
you know. But yeah, like Kim Kardashian, she made it very popular.
She got
No,
a BBL.
I mean, she claims she didn't, but you know, who knows? Models, famous people all the time lie about the work they get because they want to look like it's natural. But girl, we know it's not. So whatever. But yeah, So she, wants a fat ass. And so women will literally die getting these procedures so that they can, I guess, feel more confident or, I guess, get Instagram followers, which is really sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it sucks because a lot of the men nowadays don't even know what a real woman's body looks like. They are expecting perfection, and it doesn't exist. You can get a million things, all this work done, and yes, there's every woman I've ever met is a fucking goddess in her own right. You know what I mean? As women, we've gone through so much, and we have so much. I'm so sorry.
That alarm clock gotta.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
What's that alarm for? What were you setting alarm for this time?
Oh, I take medicine every night, so I always. Well, no, I forgot it, but it's fine.
Your Flintstone vitamins.
Yes, exactly. So, what was I even saying?
Goddess, women, everywhere in their women in their own right are all goddesses.
Yes. So, I mean, every woman is beautiful in her own right, and I think that we don't need to get all these surgeries, which is so hard to come to that conclusion. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted a nose job since I was like 16. I was like, I hate my nose; it's so ugly.
Why do you hate it?
I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted. I thought it was too big for my face. I thought I was so ugly.
I still don't see it. Like you've mentioned your nose a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. I'm looking right at it. I see nothing that
But look at the way that you look at yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah, of
you
course.
stare in the mirror and you're like, oh my God. You see every pore. You're like, fuck. But
my BBL wasn't done right.
Oh my God. Shit, oh, now you're spilling water everywhere. Maybe I should have taught you the word BBL.
Oh, oof. God, this is going to go viral. It better. Old man learns about BBL.
That's a great caption.
I should put it on there.
That's a seller. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know why we are so hard on ourselves. And this outside pressure, it doesn't, I don't know. It's tricky. It's very different for men. It's very different for women. It's very different based on your age. It's different for your ethnicity. It's even men have a hard time talking about the superficial issues they face because we've been told you can look how you want and like keep in your feelings. Like don't talk about it.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. When have men been told they can just be honest and talk about their feelings?
I mean, I'm like that with my boyfriend. I'm all the time. I'm like, I want you to open up to me.
Well, you're in a relationship, so you can, but like, as just hanging out, it's very rare.
Oh, like the bros?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't have a hard time with them. I'm so open that it freaks people out sometimes. But, I
think that's how you should live.
I agree. I don't know any other way but to just let it all out. And that's why it goes to expression, creativity, conversation, poetry, get it all out in a certain way. Even exercise, just getting things out of the system.
I think a lot of men use exercise as an outlet. I don't think they know of it or are conscious of it, but I think that it definitely helps.
It definitely helps. It helps when you do that, and then the feedback you get when your body's starting to look a certain way.
Damn, your biceps, bro.
Exactly. When a lady tells you that it looks good or it's nice, then you're like, okay.
We're even getting male validation. Like, dude, your car's sick, bro. Like, I don't know why I'm doing my Chad voice, but
Well, a nice thing too is a lot of guy friends. We've all been on a very healthy, positive kick, like all through COVID.
Oh.
And it's been nice because we're reinforcing that and saying like, oh, looking good, a nice job in that. Like keep it up, like keep doing that, like.
That's so healthy.
It is. It's been
I hope
nice.
all men get to have a relationship like that where they can like open up and like actually, actually be like honest or like just expect like why is there so much fear against being called like gay, which is so sad.
Yeah.
Or just not being able to express because they want to keep it all in and they don't want to seem weak. Mm-hmm. Bro, who cares?
Weak at my age is more prevalent than like gay because we're like I'm so older. I'm so much older now that's not really a thing. It reminds me of high school.
Yeah. Oh.
But now it's like no one's gonna be like, "What are you gay?" I'd be like, "I'm a grown man." Like, if I am, who cares?
I guess it's not a problem.
But like, I don't understand why that is your statement
Fear?
right now.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not. Not that it matters. I used to hate that when people would say it to me. I'm like, why? First of all, why is that?
Why is that a problem?
Yeah.
Why
what if
do you
I
care?
am gay?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Kiss me? No.
Yeah. You want to go out with me? I never understood that as like a a slight at somebody. Like, what are you, gay? It's like, and what does that have to do with the situation?
I don't know. People are weird.
They are. They are.
People are weird.
And not being gay, I feel so bad for those who are that, hear that, because it's like, well, I can't be myself. Now being myself is a bad thing. You know?
Yeah.
That's a heavy place. By the way, that was really smooth what you did with your jacket there.
Oh, thank you.
I saw it falling, and then you tried to grab it, and it wouldn't work because the cable, so you acted like this is just my pose, and you just kept... I saw that.
Just trying to be smooth with it. Yep.
That was great. That jacket's wild.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's
Is
very
that
warm.
Faux fur or fur?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, it's faux fur. I don't wear real fur. I love animals way too much. I have a pet.
That's the ghost.
Was that a cow? What the hell
It's a
was
friend
that?
probably watching a game or something.
Oh,
like the
okay.
Bulls game or
I was
something.
like, oh, my pet cow's here, actually. He followed me all the way to the studio.
And this hat, too. Tell the people listening that aren't looking at this about your hat.
Oh, I have a fuzzy green hat on, and I have a fuzzy green jacket on, and then I have fuzzy green pants on.
Yeah, everything's fuzzy and green. Very
It's my
cool.
favorite color, so I know.
It's a solid color. I like
Thank
that
you.
one a lot.
It's like emeralds.
Emerald green?
Yes.
It looks warm.
It is. It's so warm. You know, Chicago fashion, got to bundle up. I can't just wear all my summer clothes, so I'm like, I got to invest in some cool pieces for, not getting frostbite. So-
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about living here is the fashion. Because you get to...
frostbite?
No. Sorry. The fashion that comes with 4 seasons. You get to exchange so many cool things out. Layer this, you could get a cool bathing suit in July, all the way to the craziest layers in January, It's fun. It's definitely expensive to always be shopping for stuff, but
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. I enjoy the winter fashion a lot. I
Me
enjoy
too.
all these cool layers.
Yeah.
The Dago tea is a surprise for how cold it is outside. It's like...
I'm hot right now.
It's
a
going to be
little
like
toasty in here.
It
but
is a little warm, actually. That's why I bring this, because I start off cold. This is
Yeah.
like the warmest room in the house. And you said that made me like realize like it's a little toasty.
It's probably all the insulation.
Oh, the soundproof.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to your music because we didn't touch
sure.
on that a lot. You said you started playing a lot and you were messing around with piano at 16 or 15, you said?
Well, I started playing piano when I was like 9. My cousin actually gave me lessons, and I was like, oh, I actually really like this. Then I stopped playing it because, I was super focused on school, so I kind of gave up on it. And then I started doing sports, obviously, so music wasn't really in the equation when you're a student athlete and you're also in all honors classes and all EP classes, because I want to be...
You were in all AP, huh?
Yeah, like I said, I want to be a doctor. My goal was to get into Stanford. That was my only thing.
Why not?
Why not what?
Why didn't you go into it? Why not even something adjacent to doctor so you don't have to do 8 to 10 years of school?
Well, I was thinking of studying and learning holistic medicine because I feel like that aligns more with who I am and what I want to do, but I don't see that in my future. Well, not in my future. I see that more in the future than right now. Right now, I think I really want to focus on my art and getting my story out and expressing, and making, I guess my thoughts come to life. And then, if I do want to continue helping people or do something like that, then I would consider even going back to school or doing something like that. But to not waste, that's such a bad word, but to commit so much effort and time into something that I'm not sure about, that just scared me so much. Like, I was like, I don't want to go into, med school or, go to undergrad and just be unhappy. And now I'm in $200,000 of debt and I'm not even a doctor.
I get it.
Frick.
I get it. I did the whole shebang. I get it. It's very difficult, especially without help. It's very expensive. It's time consuming. I did 7 years of school, so I understand. Yeah, I understand. I relate while trying to balance all the art stuff, But yeah, it depends on what you're going into. It could be a complete waste. It could change your life. It could open up doors you didn't know. You could have been a doctor who was modeling. There you go.
I don't know.
I know, I'm kidding.
I feel like
There's
if
no
my
way.
patients saw me, they'd be like, "What? I'm not letting this bitch do surgery on me." She did Victoria's Secret. Get a different doctor in here. What the
She
fuck?
did Victoria's Secret. Now she's opening up my chest cavity.
Oh my god, that reminds me of Grey's Anatomy. Do you remember Izzy from Grey's Anatomy?
I've never seen 1 millisecond of that show.
It's such a good... Well, I mean, unless you had some dream of being a doctor like I did, you're not going to appreciate it probably, but...
It came out in the era of me, like, I boycotted all TV. Like
I feel that. That's
like
me
what,
right
mid
now.
2000s that came out, right?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
It's been a while.
It's still going, I think.
I think it came out when I was in high school, like 2004,
Wow.
5, 6.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just watched it on Netflix, so I just binged it religiously.
I completely just, at that age, I was very like anti-establishment. I was very bold. And I was like...
What an age to be anti-establishment, 2005.
Well, you know, the war, 9/11, chaos. And I was kind of like, I don't agree with how much money we give the top people in this world, from business executives
Go off.
to sports to celebrities. So I'm not going to support any of it because they only get their money from me if I give it to them. So I stopped buying stuff. I strictly went to thrift stores. I started making all my food.
Wow.
I stopped drinking soda and candy. I stopped watching all sports. I stopped watching everything. I would only play music and go to like local shows. And I know.
Nice.
I slowly but surely I've given into all of that. But
I mean,
I was hardcore for a while. And then when I went back into it, it felt like I missed, like how I said I don't know anything about pop culture. This is a reason why, because I missed like probably about 7 years. I just stopped. I just like did my own thing.
That's so good though.
It was
like,
great.
I don't think people realize that.
I was a really productive
Not even
person.
productive. I think that's good for your soul.
Yeah, I felt very free.
You're not even like, I feel like unfortunately we're kind of trapped in a matrix.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we are all just like consume, 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 consume. Keep them entertained, keep them entertained. And then when you step back and you're like, no, you are like, whoa, I'm free. I'm not trying to, I don't care about the celebrity. I don't care about this TV show. I'm not dedicating my time to all this BS. I could do whatever I want. It's really freeing. Like, I'm low-key in that phase right now where I'm like detoxing, I guess you could call it. Like, I unfollowed people that don't really inspire me on social media, people that make me feel bad, like all the BS, like all the drama. Like, I used to follow like Chicago news, and then I couldn't anymore because it was like, this rapper had beef with this person, this other person got shot. I was like, this is so negative. And like, I understand it's the world, but it's not what I want my world to be. You know what I mean? I don't want my inner world to be changed. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you have a very negative view of life, you're going to attract a lot of bad stuff, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm kind of in that detox right now where I don't really like mainstream stuff because it kind of scares me. Like, I know it sounds weird, but I feel like most stuff has a hidden agenda or is low-key really messed up, or, you know, the people that created are messed up. You know, like all these big movies that have, you know, Harvey Weinstein as the director. Or,
his name's attached to a lot.
Or just all these celebrities that are just so far gone, removed from, you know, the truth, I think, or I guess my truth. But yeah, it's interesting. You know, I'd much rather support a smaller artist than give my support to someone who scares me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that stuff has soul in it. It has substance. They're not just doing it for money. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm kind of in that process too of detoxing. So that's really inspiring that you went through that.
Yeah. I mean, I still live that way often. It's good at putting the phone away more, staying away from things, unfollowing things, little steps here and there, but putting the phone away. Like this past weekend, I went to visit a friend in the middle of nowhere in central Illinois, and just put my phone away and just like disappeared for a couple days. It was great. Just as far as the eye could see, farmland, just completely isolated from all of it. And it's why I really love camping and traveling and road tripping. I like to be in my car alone, see the country, camp somewhere, be in the forest. Just it's very, I think it's healthy, and I feel like a lot of people have lost sight of that and track.
I mean, it's so healthy, and that's so inspiring that you do that, because like that's so many people don't do that. Like, I can't even imagine how many people in this world have never even taken their shoes off and went in the grass. Can you think about that? Like, how many people had just wake up and then go to work and then come home and then watch TV and then that's it? I'm not saying there's no joy in that. I mean, I'm sure if you can find little things, you know, and you're grateful for your family and, you know, you have love in your life, then that's a blessing. You know what I mean? If you're happy, you're happy. But to me, I don't think I would be happy doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really big blessing that you get to travel.
Yeah, I try to always road trip, travel, camp, sleep on someone's couch. Just get away from a comfort zone. It really helps you appreciate a bed and a shower, especially camping. Do you camp at all? Have you ever done that?
I don't. I would love to. Unfortunately, I haven't been in the best financial situation where I'm allowed to, like, well, not allowed, but that I allow myself to do stuff like that.
Take off a couple days.
Yeah, I've been grinding pretty much
You're
nonstop.
at the age to do it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I mean, I see it like that. Like, I literally just finished real estate school, so I'm literally trying to get into my real estate license now and, you know, have another set of income.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to, like, really build a foundation where I could be like, where I can get, like, FU money and just do whatever I want. You know, I don't know.
No, I mean, that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're at a good age to really grind and put the work in so you can reap the benefits later on in life. You know, you shouldn't be doing nothing right now at 21. Mm-hmm. But here and there, I recommend you and a friend or whoever, like, just take camping is so inexpensive. That's why I grew up doing it. It was my only vacations. We didn't, you know, I didn't have money to, like, go on vacations. It was like, let's go camp.
Fly to
there was no flying or anything like that. It was all let's road trip and go camping because it's so cheap.
Wow.
You know, a campsite, especially if you get like a national park pass, it's a couple $10, $20.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's really inexpensive. And a tent is not a lot of money. If you're doing like very rudimentary camping, I'd say at one time spend a couple $100s on all the gear, and then you have it, if you take care of it, forever. And then you're just spending money on a campsite, $10 here, $20 here. You can find
That's a really good idea.
It's so inexpensive. You get to be in nature. You can find campsites that have a bathroom and water and electricity, or you can go all the way to where there's none, and you just have a plot of land you can go on, which I like both. Sometimes it's nice to have water and electricity, but sometimes it's awesome to just be out there with nothing. Yeah. And you bring that with you. It helps you appreciate electricity.
Oh, when you get back home, you're like, my bed,
hot
my
water
shower.
heater. Yeah. Everything. Plumbing, a toilet.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
I'm sure. Ooh, yeah. I just thought about, like, wait. Oh, yeah.
How does that work? Well, you better hope there's a river nearby.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah. But it really, I don't know, it just puts things in perspective. It helps a lot, especially, I'll go full circle, if you're on psychedelics.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're like, psychedelics, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we did talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I've done mushrooms a lot of times, and but not till way later in life. Wow. 28 is when I first tried them.
Man.
I'm assuming you tried them much younger than that.
Well, I'm just settled in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my spiritual awakening, I think. I'm not sure if you're a spiritual person or not, but
I think so. I don't really know, because that word, that phrase, spirituality, is used a lot more now than ever in my life.
Absolutely.
So I always wonder. I think it's cool because everyone has a different idea of what that is now that it's been used so often. So you tell me what it is for you, and I might agree.
I guess it's not, for me, it's not conforming to really any religion. I think that's what I think spirituality is. It's more so being in tune with your soul and the truth that it's telling you, and trusting the universe. And, you know, personally, I believe in, like, a divine force. I'm not sure if it's God or Allah or whoever, or if it even is a who. So I think that's what I believe in and what I define as spirituality. I think it has a lot of roots in, like, Buddhism and Hinduism, but I feel like I believe a lot of different things. I feel like each religion has its own little things. Like when I watched The Life of Pi, that really opened my eyes. I don't know if you know that movie.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's worshiping all these different religions, or he's like, I don't care about, you know, defining myself like that with a religion. I just want to love God. And what was God to him? And that was his truth. You know what I mean? No one else could define him or tell him who it was or what he was supposed to do. And, you know, he went through all these trials and these tribulations just to, you know, prove his faith, I guess, or to prove his strength. And, you know, that I just love that movie so much. Like, I could go into so much detail, but I read the book in high school because my teacher, you know, was like, read this book. And I was like, oh, I hate reading, but okay. And I fell in love with it. And then I watched the movie and I was like, holy shit, it's so beautiful. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I mean, I think it's just like living your truth, living with your heart, you know. I do believe in, you know, the chakras and, you know, energy, and that everything is energy. Yeah, but, you know, there are some things that I will never know, at least not in this lifetime, or at least with this level of consciousness. So, yeah, that's, I guess, what spirituality means for me. That's my definition.
And you said mushrooms kind of...
So, yeah. I think I started, like, smoking weed when I was, like, 16. And I think that started the whole thing. Like, that's when I started... Because people are like, oh, weed doesn't get you that high, or weed's just kind of like this chill thing. I was having full-on trips on weed, which people are like, that doesn't make any sense. But I was seeing, like, beautiful shapes and colors, and, my body felt like I was, like, a star, like, not like a, like a famous person, but, like, an actual constellation. So it was weird, like, and I would have these vivid, like, just like trippy scenarios when I was smoking weed. And I was like, I don't know if I'm smoking too much or if I'm just like, because I was 16 at the time, and like I was like, nothing scares me, I'll just do whatever. And I did that, and I was like, this is so cool. There's like a whole different universe in your mind. Like, that's insane. So I kind of just was smoking hella weed until I was like 19. Then I moved into my first apartment by myself. Well, I wasn't by myself, but I was like alone, I guess. And it was with my boyfriend and my best friend, and they got acid, and I was like, cool. And so I was terrified. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I had done, I smoked weed so much, but I was like, acid feels like a whole other beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll take the smallest, little tiny little bit of it. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I didn't feel anything. What the hell? So I was like, that was stupid. So I took more next time, and then I just felt really weird. And I was like, okay, I feel oddly calm. Like, I felt like my mind was in control for the first time. I wasn't tripping. I wasn't seeing things. I just felt like myself. It felt like clear, like clarity. And I was like, this is really weird. Like, I, for the first time in my life, feel like there's no anxiety, there's no nervousness, there's no chatter in my head, everything's quiet. And they were like, oh, that's cool, I'm seeing rainbows. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's different for everyone. But I did acid a few more times, and it was just really beautiful. Like, I never had any really like extreme trip where I saw things, or I was like, or I had an ego death or anything like that. I just felt very myself.
Yeah.
Like, I was in tune with my soul. Everything looked beautiful, the colors, the music, and then everything was great. And then, unfortunately, I got acid from an unreliable source, unfortunately, which is, I tell everyone, if you're doing acid or any drug, you should test it and be careful. And unfortunately, it wasn't acid. It was something completely different. And I had a horrible, horrible trip.
What was it?
I don't remember what it was, but my friend had also had some, and she was like, oh, this isn't acid, this is something completely different. I forgot what it's called, but I think it was like K2 or something, or like something crazy. And I was like, oh, cool, and so me and my boyfriend were just laying in our bed, like just talking, and I literally thought I was gonna die. And it was the scariest moment of my life. I remember just thinking, like, this is going to sound fucked up, but I literally just was like, oh yeah, I'm going to die one day. I never thought about that. You're just like, oh, that's actually going to happen. How the fuck do I cope with that? How am I supposed to be okay with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I got so mad. I just was like, so I'm supposed to just die? And that's it? And all my memories and everything that I've ever done just goes away? What the fuck? I got pissed. I was like, fuck you, the universe. Fuck everyone. Fuck God. I hate this shit. The universe doesn't make any sense. What the fuck? And so I was going crazy, right? And so, unfortunately, that kind of spiraled me into a really, really dark place for a long time. Like,
really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have really positive experiences with it, and I did have positive experiences.
Well, that was a bad drug, though. That wasn't
acid. No, acid is beautiful. That's what I was going to say is, just be careful, always test it. But yeah, I ended up getting really depressed, and but it was a blessing. And that's what I was actually going to lead into, is that it showed me all the things I was afraid of, and now it's in light. And like, I feel like kind of ripped open like my fears and like all the stuff that I was keeping inside and like all the unconscious stuff. And it was like, now you have to deal with it. And it sucked and it hurt. And it was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do that. I'm going to run away. But I couldn't. You can't go back. You can't put up the veil again. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, once you take psychedelics, it's all over. You now went to the places, and but that's what I love about them, because what you said, that fear of like you actualize the notion like I'm going to die. Like what does that mean? And what it means to me when I've felt that feeling on mushrooms or acid is now I know what it means to live, and that's what I'm doing. And I should probably, because this probably means nothing in the grand scheme of things, I feel in a moment, and I should probably take a moment and maximize it, optimize it, and use it to kind of have a reason to live because I am here, not because it won't exist anymore.
Oh,
that's all I could think of.
That's beautiful.
I mean, what else is there? I mean, we are aware that we will die. We can't prove a heaven or a hell or any form of a God.
Yep.
We could believe in it. We can have faith, but we can't prove it. We can't prove anything. So
we don't know anything.
Yeah, and what I could kind of prove is the fact that I'm thinking about trying to figure out a way to prove something, which means maybe...
Isn't consciousness so cool?
Which maybe means that I am here at least, even if it's the Matrix or a projection or a universe that is parallel with other universes where there's another me. It doesn't matter. What matters is I could think of it now. So maybe I should probably do something with it now, or I can call quits. I could kill myself. I could let everything fall apart, or I could just keep living. And I think with age, that becomes more and more apparent.
Yeah.
You know, things are going to be hard. Depression's going to kick in. People are going to die. Sad things are going to happen. Someone's going to break your heart. Maybe once, maybe 10 times. But it will be broken, I promise you. The general you, not just you.
Oh, no, definitely.
But so with that, you don't need any drug to get to a place of having that understanding. But what I think a psychedelic can do is just give you an unbiased perspective.
Oh, yeah.
On your mind, because of the way it almost like it can detach whatever pathway. I'm not a neurologist, but whatever pathway is going on with how you think in a regular way, it kind of moves like off to it and parallel, so where you can look back at yourself objectively without having any biases.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I think that's the only thing that's cool about it, like truly cool about it, and where I would say recommend to someone, if you feel comfortable and you're cool with your life, maybe try mushrooms or something. I'm a big fan of mushrooms only because they're natural.
I wish I would have known that. But what you're saying is so like, wow. Like you just said everything that my thought process was during those months that I was like going through the depression.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit, this is the universe giving me another little, sign. That's so crazy. And that happens to me all the time. It's like I align, or like I meet up with people and they confirm things, or they like give me little truths or little pieces of the puzzle. And I'm like, oh. And I think that's the beauty of life, is you're like slowly figuring it out, or just, like connecting the dots, I guess. Like, I don't know if you've ever read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
It sounds really familiar, but I have not read it.
I would definitely strongly recommend it.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very, I hate saying woo-woo, but it's very much new age spirituality. Like when you read it, you're either going to be like, what the hell drugs is this man on? Or you're going to be like, this is the strongest thing I've ever felt in my life.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, holy shit, this is the truth. Like this is, everything he's saying makes sense because I feel it. And, I feel like truth is a different vibration than, BS. You know what I mean? So I was reading it, and he basically talks about how we're not our thoughts. We are the observer that watches the thoughts. So that's who we truly are. And then we're looking at it and we see it and we're like, okay, I'm looking at my thoughts and I'm thinking of this thing. So who the hell am I? You know what I mean? I'm not the thought, obviously, because I'm observing it. So what is the thing that's observing it? That must be my true self. So when I was going through that, I guess that really dark place where I was like, I should just, die. What's the point? I'm going to die anyways. You know what I mean?
You actually thought about that?
Oh, definitely. I literally thought I was going to go crazy because I felt like I was the only person in the world.
Yeah.
Like I was like, no one else understands what I'm going through. No one else gets it. So, whoops. But I was like, what's the point of even being alive? You know what I mean? And like, I've had my struggles with anxiety for so long and depression for so long. Like, is it even worth carrying on now? So I basically was like, oh, okay, I have two options. I either just get it over with and die, or I'll just keep going. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, what is the only truth? I need to cling on to something, you know what I mean? Like what you were saying, I literally thought this. I was like, the only truth is that I'm here. That's the only thing I know for sure. You know what I mean? I don't know what the universe is doing. I don't know what God is. I don't know. But I do know that I'm here in my couch looking at the trees, and I'm here. And every second that passes, I'm also in that moment. And that's actually what The Power of Now talked about. And that was even before I read the book. So when I read it, it finally all made sense. But it was like saying that basically we don't know what's going to happen in the future. 2 seconds from now, an asteroid could come and just like completely destroy your studio.
You can have a brain aneurysm.
True, that's also an option. Not that you have a choice. But you know, and the past is gone. I can't go back, you know. As much as I want to, I can't. So you know what I mean? So the only thing you really, truly have control over is right now. The thoughts, the things you do. So if you're trying so hard to change the past, you're never going to do it. If you're trying so hard to control the future by being anxious, you're never going to do it. So I remember getting high once, and I was like thinking about it. And I remember drawing something in my phone, and it was like a chart, and it was like the past is grief, right now the present is pure happiness, and in the future is anxiety. If your mind is here, you're going to be in grief. If your mind is there, you're going to be in anxiety. But if you're here, you're fully in the present moment. And I was like, what the fuck did I just draw on my phone? And I was like, oh, wait, that actually makes sense. So yeah, it's a really, really good book. I definitely recommend it if you're, you know, interested. Obviously, you've experienced it. But yeah, that's kind of the journey that I've been on. So my muse.
Yeah, back to music.
Which I thought I don't know how that happened.
We've touched music and got away from it twice now, so
we're just dipping the toes in,
listen,
you know.
Psychedelics and music, they're one of the same. They go hand in hand.
Yes, the universal language. Yes.
It definitely had an effect on it, you know, when people started taking psychedelics in the 60s. You could see that.
You could listen to that music and feel it.
On everything, on fashion, on photography, on film, on counterculture, on politics, on music.
Oh, wow.
You know, psychedelics. Again, it's always comes with this like weird mystical woo-woo thing. Like, oh, I'm doing mushrooms. It's just when you take it and you experience it, you'll understand why people go on about it.
Yep.
And if until then it's impossible to actually explain it. It's such a strange experience. Or acid, either one is so strange.
It is.
And so bizarre and so otherworldly. And it feels like you're just in a different universe at times that, I don't know, like, I'd say it's a really unique thing, a really fun thing. And if you want to try it, you'll enjoy it. Maybe you won't. But I recommend everyone at a certain point. Usually, I would say make sure you're a full-fledged adult, you know.
And also, I think it's important, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's also important to be in, like, a right mind.
Yes,
I don't
very
think
much
if you're
so.
like, I want to die, let me just do acid.
No.
Girl, no.
Yeah, be in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think it also requires a little bit of, I guess, awareness of yourself. Like, I guess you have to be aware of that observer. If you're not, you're just going to be going through the things not knowing why it happened, if that makes sense. Like, you're like, I saw this random crazy, you know, dragon. I don't know what happened. And, you know, but someone who's going through a spiritual awakening or going through that, like, they see it as a lesson rather than just like, oh, I'm trying to get messed up. You know, I'm trying to get high out of my mind.
Yeah, it's a bad way to take a psychedelic.
Exactly. I think they have a purpose, and, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, how doctors use it in the future, because, you know, there has been studies of like microdosing and stuff like that, which is so cool to me. But yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes, because I feel like if you just are like, I want to get fucked up, go to a bar, do some shots, you know what I mean? Smoke hella weed if you want to, but I don't think you should do acid.
No.
Or shrooms.
No. So you've never done them, mushrooms?
I did, but it was such a small amount, I didn't feel anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I guess I'll just keep doing acid, because I did the shrooms and it tasted so bad that I threw up.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'll take some more, and then
you
nothing
mix
happened.
it with peanut butter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peanut butter can mask anything.
That's true.
It's such a-
But I hate peanut butter, so maybe that's not a good idea.
You hate peanut butter?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Who hates peanut?
Me.
Really? You've
Yeah.
always hated it?
Always, my whole life. Peanut butter and jelly, my mom was like, here. No.
Peanut butter.
Can't.
Okay. You like avocado?
I hate avocados.
What? You're destroying my breakfast right now. I'm
You eat peanut butters with avocados?
every day for the last 9 months, about a year actually. I've had a smoothie
Okay.
that has peanut butter,
Okay. Please don't say avocado.
Avocado.
Oh my God.
banana.
You put avocado in a smoothie?
Yeah, it's like the best smoothie filler. It's so healthy, so many good
Okay,
fatty
that's healthy,
acids.
but why?
How else do you think I keep this slim figure?
Oh, are you trying to start modeling?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I heard you're supposed to start at 31.
You're right. I think you can do it.
Avocado, banana, almond milk,
Okay.
peanut butter, pea protein,
I love pea protein.
hemp protein,
Nice.
100% cacao, chocolate,
Nice.
and that's and honey, raw honey. Put them all
Nice.
together. That's what I've been having for breakfast pretty much every day for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love smoothies, so that makes sense. But
I'm telling you.
I could do
you'd
without
like
the
this.
peanut butter and the
Peanut
avocado.
butter. If you're not a peanut butter person, I could see that. Avocado, it gets so blended.
That's what I use
That you don't-
spinach for and kale because spinach has no taste. So I just throw all of it into a smoothie and I'm
Yeah.
like, there's my vegetables for the day. I don't want to taste that
No
shit.
salad, no salads.
I mean, I like salad, but like, I don't like, it's
So
too leafy sometimes.
What do you eat then? What does an active model
Okay.
eat?
I eat whatever I want, to be
You know,
completely
people
honest.
say that. I don't believe it.
No, I'm being 100% serious.
Tell me what you mean by
Look me
that.
in my eyes. I'm not lying.
So,
I
what'd you eat
truthfully-
today?
What did I eat today? I woke up and I drank coffee.
What time did you wake up?
I woke up at 7.
Nice, me too.
Yeah, and so I drank some coffee and they messed up my order and I was really sad. So I was like, never mind. And I
It
didn't.
messed up your order? What?
Oh, yeah, for coffee. I went to Dunkin'.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
So I went to Dunkin' and I got coffee. And then I had a donut and then the donut sucked. And I was like, damn, I can only eat half my breakfast. So I was like, whatever. Went home, ate a banana. Then,
That's a better version of what you
Yes.
should have.
Exactly. I do good sometimes. And then what did I eat? I don't remember what I had for lunch. I think I had tortellini. Yeah. So I'm
Interesting.
Sicilian, so I only eat Italian food. I'm not going to lie to you.
I could tell that you're Sicilian.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you Sicilian?
No.
Oh, I was like, most people don't know that I'm
no,
Sicilian.
I'm
Oh,
not
that's
Italian
crazy.
at all. I could tell by your face, nose, hair, skin, height.
Well, this is a
Talk.
wig, but thank you.
Well, it's dark, so
True.
it was enough to be like, oh, you have really dark hair.
True.
like-
my natural hair is dark, so
Oh,
I mean that
so
makes
wait, you
sense.
have natural hair that's dark, and you're wearing a wig that's dark.
Well, my hair's short. I like to have long
Oh,
hair.
I was like, what's going on? I'm confused
Yeah.
by it.
Oh no, it's okay. But
How
I'm glad it looks
short?
natural. It's like down here.
Oh, so you wear that's not that short, a foot.
It's not, but I like to actually like have long hair and just
Okay.
feel like because my hair actually used to be this long and then I chopped it all off, which was so dumb. But my hair was so dead and it didn't. It was just so lifeless, and I was like, I need to just get on with it. So I chopped it all off, and now it's growing back.
Got
so,
it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all making sense now.
Okay. Cool.
I was like, the hair is very long. It looks interesting. I couldn't
Thank
tell.
you.
Like, is it? I was. Oh, anyway, it's making more sense now.
Yeah.
So back to food. Tortellini, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fucking good.
No,
it's cheese tortellini.
I'm just. It's. I'm. This. So far, you're right. You are eating whatever you want. Okay.
And then I cleaned my house, which isn't food. I don't know why. I just
So
thought
you
I'd throw
eating
that.
dust bunnies? Like
Yeah.
what?
I just thought I'd throw that in there. And then I went to go visit my mom, who is also a Sicilian woman. So she decided to order pizza for us.
Oh
and
my
we ate
God.
pizza, and I ate way too much. And now my stomach's full.
Where's the pizza from?
Beggars or
Nice.
Papa Joe's? I don't remember which one she got, but yeah.
I've heard of both.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
You
So,
are definitely local.
Yes. Born and raised in Chicago. Yes.
Chicago. And so pizza, tortellini is half a donut, banana, and coffee. How much pizza? How many slices you have?
I don't think I want to disclose that.
You can tell this guy right here. I can eat more pizza than anybody on this
I
planet.
probably had like 7 slices
Okay, that's
or 10. I don't know.
or 13
or with a whole pizza. I don't know.
I think I had
It just
20
kinda-
slices.
It just, it was all a blur.
That
It
is a
happened
blur.
really fast.
So far you are proving me wrong. You do eat whatever you want. Okay.
I do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a very high metabolism, so my whole life I've never
Better,
really.
because that's just Monday.
Yup. That's just Monday. But yeah, no. My whole life I've been able to eat whatever I want, and there's no consequences.
There will be consequences.
But that's the thing. I don't think there will because I know it sounds bad, but my mom is also, she's 50. She's still extremely skinny. My aunt, who is also 50, they're twins, extremely skinny.
So just the right genes, huh?
We just are, we're tall. That's the thing. I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're 5'9", you have high metabolism, it all just kind of evens out.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
What's my excuse? I'm like an inch taller than you. I have to try so hard to not
Really?
gain weight. So hard.
I mean, we're not related, so it might be.
We're not.
It might be genetics. I don't know.
It's definitely genetics because I'm
Okay.
like, I have to
Yeah.
try very hard. But I also have.
But that's good. You get to exercise and take care of your body. I don't.
It's good. You get to move and live a healthy life. I just sit still and eat donuts and
Yup.
tortellinis and pizza. You're also 21.
True.
I'm
That
31.
I'm sure that
It's
is a
100%
big factor
a
in that.
factor. That lifestyle, sleep. You don't exercise. Like you don't do any
I
cardio.
do yoga, but
Cardio?
I don't do cardio. No.
No?
My job is enough cardio.
Really?
Yes. Not only modeling, but I work at a photo studio and we have like 5 different studios. So running back and forth, lifting up really heavy equipment all day.
Okay.
Sometimes I work 14-hour shifts.
Wow. Where is this studio located?
Oh, the South Loop. It's upscale lofts.
Okay. What streets is that on?
Lumber.
Lumber.
South
and
Lumber.
What? Do you know what cross street?
Cermak.
Oh, okay. That's like by Pilsen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's near there. It's like right at the edge of the
Yeah.
South Loop in Pilsen.
By Pilsen, Chinatown area.
Yep.
Very cool. Do you just commute up there for
Yeah,
work?
it's I live down here, so it's like a 20-minute drive to the city because I'm straight off
Do you take
94.
57 to?
No,
you take
94.
94 up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dan Ryan. Yeah.
I'm very familiar with Midlothian, Oak Park. I have hung out there and have family there, and so I know
Oh,
the area
nice.
really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Off 147th and Pulaski.
That's
Here.
literally where. Actually, I probably shouldn't say where I live. Fuck. Can you edit that out?
No, it's okay. That's vague.
That is vague. You're gonna
140
go on the intersection and be like, where the fuck
10,000
she
people
at?
that live over there. Like, where's she at? I know she's somewhere.
Yeah, she's just stand there until I show up.
You're like, your face was priceless. You're like, how does he know where I live? That's pretty much what you said without saying it.
No, I didn't think that. I just thought, oh God, I just said it onto the internet with a bunch of strangers where I lived. Frick.
It was vague. Like I could say like
Yeah.
I live off 87th and Roberts Road. It's like, but not
Yeah.
really. That's just like the closest intersection.
Yeah, no one can find your house. So
It'd be
that
hard.
makes
Well,
sense.
they can. I'm in a position where you just type in DZ Records and it pops up. But
Cool.
it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
If
anyone's wondering how to
it's officially
stalk
on
you.
Google. Well, it's being a 31-year-old hairy man. It's not very scary if someone knows where you live. I'm not that
Fair.
scared.
Fair.
It's just a different dynamic.
Yes, I understand.
So if you're listening and you're trying to pull a fast one, I'm not afraid of you, and I will.
Come get it, bro.
I don't know any martial arts, but I've seen so many movies.
Really?
I think I know how to fight. I'm kidding. I don't know how to
That's
fight.
so funny.
I'm just a little like, I think I'm crazy enough.
You have to have a little edge.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Taekwondo, literally, like, that was something that really, like, helped me, was just being angry.
You're a little
And,
crazier
like,
than the next person.
Yeah, because you have to be willing to just, like,
Do the thing.
some people are timid and they're just like, I don't want to hit her, but just, I'm going to punch them. I want to win.
So you did Taekwondo?
I did Taekwondo for how many years? I don't even remember. But I stopped when I was like 16 or 17. Yeah, I got up to my black belt, so that was
Really?
cool. Yes.
So you got a black belt.
Yes, I do.
So you went from black belt to modeling.
Right?
That's right at that
yeah,
age?
honestly, no. And I did so many competitions for it, and I won medals, which was really cool. And I was trying to get into the Olympics. I thought that was something that I wanted to do. And then I was like, okay, I can't afford to go to China or South Korea or anywhere because my actual sensei was from South Korea. And so he was like, oh, I want to take like all of our students there, but the trip's like $10,000. And I was like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I guess I'm not going there.
Yeah, so I was like, never mind. And so I slowly kind of fell back from it because it was such a financial investment too, and like it was so time consuming. So I mean, I really did it for self-defense purposes. You know, I didn't want to, you know, I'm a small woman. I'm not trying to be unprepared if something happens. So besides, you know, weapons training, it's also helpful to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
You got height though, 5'9".
I do, yes.
Is that's a common thing, right? For a lot of models, like a little bit more of the height?
Yes.
Right.
Typically, most models, I mean, there's always exceptions. You know, people that do lifestyle typically can be shorter. Like swimwear models don't need to be tall. Influencers don't need to be tall. But if you're on a runway, you know, they want someone that's a little bit lankier, I guess.
Why? Do you know why?
Just the way the clothes fit. You know what I mean? When you're a very long figure, you know, the clothes fall a certain way. And when all the models are tall, you know, you're not having these crazy height discrepancies. Like, can you imagine someone 5'1" wearing this really long gown and then someone 5'10" wears a long gown? They look completely different.
Yeah.
So if all the models are a certain height, you know, 5'9", 5'10", 5'11" even, all the clothes look the same.
Is that the common heights? Like
Yeah.
5'9", 5'10", 5'11"?
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
I've never really seen a high fashion model that's shorter than 5'7", to be honest. Yeah.
Interesting.
I got lucky, I guess.
Heightism.
Heightism?
Is that a thing? It sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up. Like, you're not born. It's not your fault that you're 5'6" or 5'5".
That's true, but I mean, it's just the way that the clothes fit, I guess, and that's something that they want. So, you know, cool, you know?
What are some other, like, physical things that, like, of your body shape that you can't control, that you're just born with, that they're looking for in high fashion runway? Besides the 5.
A skinny waist.
Skinny waist.
So they don't really like, I mean, boxy figures, they can, you know, if your waist is a certain size, they have really specific measurements typically they want.
Yeah.
So like a hip measurement, waist measurement, they want like someone with a 25-inch waist or less typically. So skinny.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So skinny as
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm a 30. I'm probably a handle of 31.
Well, you're a man, so that's very, very different.
Right.
Because women have more of an hourglass shape and men tend to be more bulky, I guess, or like
All right, so
square.
would I be like, would I do like some Levi jeans? Is that what I would model?
Sure.
Yeah.
If you want to, go for it.
I don't know. What?
Well, it depends. I mean, you have to know your niche. You know what I mean? Like someone, if you're shorter, you know, you're more lifestyle. But if you're taller, you're more, you know, high fashion.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. But shit, having a specific nose, a lot of people want 104-degree nose upturn.
Wait.
I've heard that.
What?
Yes.
Is that even?
It means your nose slopes at a 104-degree angle.
Whoa.
Is that insane?
That is insane.
Yes. I don't know. There's just a lot of things. They typically want someone that looks ethnic or like diverse or mixed. Yeah, like you have to look like exotic.
I was
guess
literally
that's
going to say they want someone who looks exotic.
Yes, like racial ambiguity is huge in the modeling industry nowadays. Like if you're white but you look kind of, I don't really know what you are, that's so cool for them. They're like, hell yeah. Or if you're black and you're mixed with white, or if, you know, you don't know what you are, you know, and they can't guess.
They can't take your 23andMe test.
I mean, shit, they could, but I mean, the way you look, that's the thing. Like if you look like very, you're so unique looking or exotic looking, that's something that they tend to like too.
So your Sicilian blood helps you.
I mean, I look as white as they come, so.
You don't. You're not used to, you're biased. Like you're not that as white as you think you are.
I mean, I
guess.
guess.
You're not very pale. You're not that pale. It's December.
That's true.
Like,
but,
look at someone who's from England or Sweden or Norway.
Okay, true.
And they're like white. Like,
yeah.
whoa.
I mean, Sicily is an island, you know what I mean? And I grew up, you know, heavily influenced by that culture. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. I've always just, you know, Italian, white. You know what I mean,
you are white, but I'm saying as far as the fairness of your skin, it's
fair.
not. Yeah, that's fair enough, right?
Oh, fair. Fair is fair.
It's not that pale.
Yeah.
Like as far as someone who would be like Danish or Norwegian or Russian.
I mean, I have had people say like, "Oh, are you mixed?" or "Oh, are you like?" People think I'm Arabic, and truthfully, I don't know the full story of my ancestry. I wish I did. That's true, but I don't know. I don't want to give my DNA to some random weirdos. The fuck are you gonna do with that? I don't.
Well,
what if it's wrong?
It's definitely not going to be 100% right, but it's pretty darn accurate.
What if it says I'm like Canadian or some random shit. I don't know. Like, I'd be so mad. Like, I'm not even Sicilian. What the
100%
fuck?
Canadian. You're
Canada.
probably Sicilian if that's what your parents are and your grandparents. But
That makes
I
sense.
was surprised by mine. I'm not what my family always said they were.
What?
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. My brother said
I was
the same
happy because
thing.
it was so great to tell them, like, you guys have been wrong this whole time. It's kind of
See,
funny.
my family would fall apart.
I'm sure
They'd be in shambles.
my family, I knew that something wasn't right because it just didn't add up. I'm like, we're not that German, all right? Like, turns
You
out,
look German, though.
really?
Yes.
I'm not German at all.
What?
Yeah. Try to guess.
So you
what I
look
am.
German, but you're not German. Okay.
How does someone look German? Like, do I have a Hitler mustache? What makes me German?
No, I don't know. I've seen a lot of German people in my life, and I feel like you look German. Or maybe you just look like every white guy. I don't know.
That's funny because I would mostly get Jewish often.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're Jewish? People say I'm Jewish and because of my nose, and I'm like, I don't think I'm
nose,
anything.
104 degree BBL nose, like.
What the fuck? The BBL nose? You're funny. True. I'm gonna get a BBL for my nose. That's.
You told me the wrong information.
I swear,
I'm gonna be
I
saying
shouldn't
some
have said
stupid
anything.
stuff all the time to my friends. I'm like, what did you learn in that room tonight? Well, you see, I'm gonna go to my friend's nose with my protractor and be like, I don't think this is at 104 degrees.
You're at 102, buddy.
You're going to have to chop that off.
Yeah.
Take some fat from your stomach and BBL
Just-
that nose. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! I low key. People do some crazy shit. So I don't know. That's wow.
So you're Sicilian.
Yes.
I'm not German. I'm half Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And then another like 20% English, 20% Polish, Ashkenazi Jew. And then
Okay.
the next 10% is like broadly Northern European.
Oh, nice.
And then like there's probably about 3% in there that's a little bit of Southeast Asian and Western African and Moroccan. Like little stuff, but not enough.
course.
Not enough
Yeah,
where
not
it's
enough.
anything. But
yeah.
yeah, my dad's Mexican and my mom is very white, and that's the Polish, English, Northern European side. It's pretty
That's what I'm
straightforward.
thinking. Is if I take like a 23andMe, they're just gonna be like, "You're just a mutt. You're
They'll probably
not
be
even that Sicilian."
No, what if they told you something worse? They're like, you're Italian. Fuck. I'm not Sicilian, I'm Italian.
Don't. Oh my god, people don't understand how mad that makes me.
I know, that's why I said it.
So many people are like, "Oh, you're Italian," and I'm like,
Don't
I mean,
make
I
me-
mean, yes, but like when you study the history of Sicily, like I've gone heavy into that, and I'm like, the culture's so different, the people are so different, everything is so different than
Pizza's so
Italy.
much better.
Yes, everything is better.
Palermo? Come on now.
Yes, that's where my family's from, Palermo.
Really?
Yes.
Do you ever have their pizza?
No, I haven't. I have family that lives there, but I've never
It's
gotten a
probably
chance
free
to
for
see
you then.
them.
Go to the pizza place. Like, I'm from
Well,
here.
I mean, it would be free if I could pay for the $3,000 flight.
No, I meant if you go to the restaurant.
Oh, you're talking about Palermo the restaurant? I was talking about Palermo the city in Sicily. You're not talking- Like, hey guys, I know your restaurant's named Palermo. I am from Palermo. Could you hook me up?
Please? You could see it in my nose, right? Come on. I got the Palermo nose.
Look. That's so funny. I should try my luck. That might be.
There is a city named after my last name is named after a city in Spain, Arguelles, Spain. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
thinking about going there and trying to get some free stuff out of it.
Wait, Arguelles.
It's next to Madrid.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, so
Have you been?
I was a world history nerd, so I love
Nice.
studying and Spain is freaking beautiful. I want to go there so bad.
Me too.
Even the architecture is gorgeous. Like they have like Islamic architecture
Oh,
from like
yeah.
the 1400s that I've always wanted to see. So yeah, I definitely want to go there.
Spain.
Dope.
I want to go to the northern region, the Basque region, where they apparently it's one of the hardest and most rare languages to speak. The
Really?
Basque. Esquira, I think it's Esquira. The Basque region. It's northern Spain. It's like a completely different type of people and history, and they have a language that is like not related or has no roots in Latin, Greek, or Romantic language at all.
In Europe.
Yeah, in Europe.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's
Good for
that
them.
and Finnish from Finland. Those are the most rare languages, I believe, in Europe.
Good for them.
Yeah. Fun fact, kids.
People are going to get so much education from this. We talked about history, modeling, spirituality, religion, psychedelics,
Psychedelics.
medicine.
Medicine?
Bruh,
You think psychedelics
fuck
are
college.
medicine?
Just listen to this podcast. This is 4 years of liberal arts right here,
that's
baby.
my new bumper sticker I give to all the kids.
What?
Fuck college. Listen to this podcast. That's good, right?
I like that. Did I just create a whole new slogan for your stuff? Marketing.
Oh, the internet. I want to talk to you about the internet. And what is it like to...
The band?
No. That's a great band, though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I love the internet.
All right.
Become a big
But
fan.
we're not talking about
We're not
the
talking
internet.
about the band,
Okay.
the internet.
Gotcha.
Social media. Being a creative person and then going into a physical creative outlet like modeling. What has it been like? Instagram, Facebook, anything like that with modeling? With putting yourself out there for friends, family, colleagues, future clients, new people you're meeting to see you in a modeling fashion.
Whew. I think it's been tricky. When I started modeling, I was 16, like I said. So all the people that follow me were from high school, and they were like, why the fuck are you posting these modeling photos? They like hated on me super hard.
Why?
I don't know. I had a really tough like high school experience. I mean, I had such good friends and I had a strong foundation, and like the people I fucked with, I really fucked with, you know what I mean? Like hard, like, and I supported them and loved them, and I really made like really cool soul connections in high school. But you know, there was a lot of people there that didn't understand what I was trying to do. They're like, oh, you're acting famous, or you're acting like you're just so lame, you're a wannabe. And I was like, yeah, I am a wannabe. I want to be a model. I want to do this, you know what I mean? So I had no shame in it, but it still sucked, you know, to be like hated on for it. So I kind of didn't post or do as much as I should have. And then eventually I ended up in a very toxic relationship where the person didn't like that I was a model, and I tried to also diminish that. And so he like didn't like that I posted my photos. He was like, why are you posting for other men? And I was like, I'm not posting for anyone. It's for me. It's for my career. And he was like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with you working with male photographers. And I was like, who the fuck? 95% of photographers are male. You know what I mean? So it was rough. And so it's been hard and trying to find that balance, you know what I mean? Of like, I guess social media is so weird nowadays because I'm trying to figure out what my niche is. Like, you know, I'm really into marketing, you know what I mean? And trying to build a brand, but I don't know what my brand is yet. You know, I know that I'm an artist, I want to create, but it's hard to portray that on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, it's so hard because people can't see what you're about. You know, people judge me all the time, you know? I've had people come up to me and be like, oh, I thought you were a bitch. I thought you were so stuck up. I thought you were so conceited because all you do is post yourself. And I'm like, because I'm a model. Like, that's just what I post. I post my work, you know? I would love to post my bird, but a client isn't going to be like, cool bird, dude, let me hire you. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So I ended up just like, I guess, curating it and just posting my work. And, you know, I did get hate for it. You know, a lot of my family members, you know, were like, what the hell? Like, you're posting, like, not even suggestive stuff, but, like, even just lingerie shoots or swimwear. They were like, this is a little too much, girl. You need to stop that. And I'm like, I'm comfortable with myself. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable with that. And I don't, like, I haven't had issues with it. You know what I mean? Like, I work in the creative industry. You know what I mean? I'm not working as a lawyer. You know, people aren't going to be like, oh my God, I saw that you were wearing a swimsuit in your picture. That's so unprofessional. You know what I mean? I work in a creative industry where people understand. They're like, this is your brand. This is what you do. I respect you. So it's been cool. I haven't had too many issues with it. But I guess the biggest thing is trying to find where I fit into all of it. Because the internet's a huge place. And there's so much you can do. And, you know, I tend to waste a lot of time on the internet. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, how to, I guess, be mindful and intentional with the art that I create instead of being like, because I hate to say it, but I've low-key noticed a pattern in a lot of women, and I'm not trying to be judgmental because I also went through this where they slowly want to be more sexual and commodify themselves, which is, there's like, this is a fine line. It's really tricky to talk about because, you know, I feel like people like cancel and be like, you're a horrible person. You're not a feminist. I'm all for empowerment. I'm all for women doing whatever the fuck they want. But there's a very, very thin line between doing it because you feel empowered and doing it because you're getting male, like, validation.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
canceled. No. Stop right there, because what you just said is what I talk about a lot.
Oh,
with,
really?
With my friends.
Yeah.
Privately, being a man, being an adult man. What does it mean when you see someone's body on the internet? What is their intention? What are their intentions?
Yes.
What is the intent behind it? Is it for creativity? Is it for modeling? Is it for work? Is it for their output? Or is it for likes? Is it because, like, women are smarter than men, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons.
Probably, yeah. Just agreeing.
Damn right. But for a lot of reasons, and one is, forget, IQ tests and SAT, ACT scores and all that. Think about,
Sorry.
on average, I would say there's not much of a, standard deviation between men and women's intelligence. So what I believe can give women the upper hand is, forever they've always had to try to outsmart to, like, just stay at a normal average level, because it becomes with so many issues. So much outside pressure. You have to try twice as hard to go half as far. So all that kind of makes you a little bit more intelligent in what you're doing, and at least more self-aware, and at least more emotionally intelligent. So with that being said, I'm like, they're smart. They know what they're doing. So if it is just to get likes, they're aware of their body. In fact, they've been a woman their whole life. They know what their body does.
Yes.
They know what the male gaze looks like. They know everything about that. They're not.
Yeah.
This is not anything new to someone who's 20, 21, 30. You're aware of, like, how this all is really working. You're aware of what your body can do.
Yeah.
So if you're going to post it on, it doesn't really matter, but we'll stick with Instagram, because that seems to be, like, your main thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're posting on Instagram, where does it start with? Does it start with your intention in your heart? Like, I'm a model, I'm an artist, this is what I'm doing. It's like, you can't help but notice that when you do get likes, the numbers do go up and you get more work.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
So
That's
it's
exactly
tricky.
what I'm talking
It's tricky
about.
because there is a correlation.
Yes.
I've noticed it. Like, I'm not a model, but I noticed.
It's so easy not, like.
Yeah, you post certain pictures. If I post certain pictures with certain people, a dog or a group, a band, even a band that might have women in it. More specifically, a band that has women in it that are a little bit more on the attractive side. I see certain correlations.
Yes.
So I hand the mic to you.
Oh, well, yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about. I do believe it starts with intention. Personally, I noticed that my intention was getting bad. My intention was, okay, I'm getting so much money because every time I post a picture like this, I have people wanting to shoot me and being like, hey, I want to give you money to shoot because you're so hot. You know what I mean? And I know it sucks, but it's like a lot of women do that. And now I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying, oh, you should hide and be modest. I'm not saying that at all. I do believe that this is more of a place of, like, loving yourself and realizing, okay, are you doing this because you're happy? Are you doing this because you like the content you're posting? I know so many people that create nude art. And there's such a I don't know what it is. There's, like, a thin line between doing it right and for the right intention versus, like, oh, I want to get girls naked and take pictures of them. You know what I mean? Like, and I do understand the women that do that because our whole lives we have had to deal with the male gaze, the patriarchy. And then when people profit off of it, it makes sense. Look at how much money strippers make. Look at how much money OnlyFans girls make.
Pornography.
They're smart as hell. They're capitalizing on the thing that's oppressed them their whole life. That's genius. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to get catcalled down the street, you know what I mean? I might as well go, make money off of it. If I'm going to get judged or, like, if I send nudes to somebody, you know what I mean? And they get leaked and then everyone's like, oh, that's so hot. But then when I post it, I'm a whore. What? That doesn't make any sense. Now I'm going to capitalize off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I do that personally, because I'm, that's not my brand, but I can see why women would do that. And I do think that it all starts with intention. If that's your brand and if you want to be an OnlyFans girl or a porn star or, an erotic model, go for it. Do whatever. But if you're aware of why you're doing it and you know what you're doing, I think that's where it gets tricky, because I started falling down that slippery slope of posting sexier stuff. Like, I did a shoot for Penthouse, and Penthouse is like a nude shoot, It's a new magazine. So I was like, okay, cool. This is great. I'm getting paid, whatever. So when the photographer posted, I realized how uncomfortable I was. And I was like, I don't really want everyone seeing my tatas on Instagram.
You call them tatas too?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to be fancy.
No,
but,
that's one of my favorite ways of saying breasts. It's too funny. But anyway.
It is. But yeah, I just like, okay, I don't really want... It's such a slippery slope because I appreciate the aesthetic of the human body, and I realize that it is art, and I appreciate the way it looks, and it's beautiful, but it still felt weird to me. And I was like, okay, well, this is a magazine for men, and men are going to be, like, are they really going to be appreciating me, or are they seeing me as an object? It's like a thin line, you know what I mean? Like, there are some people that will look at you and be like, wow, you're so beautiful, you know what I mean? You're a work of art, you're a goddess, and I want to cherish you. And then there's people that are like, you're a slut, or I want to degrade you, or, you know, I just see you as a piece of me, which is so fucked up, but you can't control who sees your content. That's the problem.
And that's kind of, that is like the aim of those magazines to begin with.
Exactly. It's just to get horny guys, then they're like, ooh, wow, hot women, yay.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's smart for women to capitalize off of that and use it for their good, but it always makes me feel like bad. Like, it doesn't help your self-worth, you know what I mean? It doesn't help me feel better about myself. It kind of sucks.
So you ended up going through with the penthouse photos?
I mean, I already did it, you know what I mean? Can't go back.
Right.
I got
Can't
paid.
give them the money back.
Exactly. So the images were beautiful. The photographer was super respectful. It was, I literally went to Lake Michigan in October, nude, so...
Wait, is this a different one?
Yes.
You in this Lake Michigan October.
Yes. So, I mean, it was beautiful, though, and it was well thought out, and I thought it was very artistic and well done. So, I thought it was pretty tasteful. So, I didn't feel any, like, bad way about when I was doing the shoot. But afterwards, I was like, is this really what I want my brand to be? You know what I mean? Because it's a slippery slope then, because then people see my nude work, and they're like, oh, I want to shoot you nude. I want to do photo shoots like that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And then slowly you start to kind of just... I guess, like any boundaries you have, people won't respect them. Yeah. Because they're like I started doing that. I started saying, hey, I don't want to do nude shoots anymore. I'm sorry. Or, oh, I don't do that anymore. And they're like, yes, you do. I already saw it. I already saw that you did this shoot. I already saw you did lingerie. Why are you not comfortable doing that? Yeah. And I'm like, I just don't want to. The fuck?
Change my mind.
Exactly. Like, I'm going in a different direction. I'm trying to do more high fashion or more set design or more intentional things. You know what I mean? It's easy as fuck to take your clothes off, but I want to build a brand and build something that shows off my skills. You know what I mean? Like, really cool posing. And if I happen to be nude in those photos, that's my choice. Yeah. When I want to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So... I don't know. It's a slippery slope, unfortunately, and I feel like that's why it's so important to talk about it and be honest, because I feel like a lot of women are like, oh, it's so empowering for me to, you know, be a stripper. But deep down, they're very sad, and deep down, they hate it, and they hate that they have to talk to men, and they hate that they have to, you know, rely on it, or...
Certain kinds of men, by the way.
Yes, very... And, you know, it sucks, and a lot of people think that, you know... like, if you're a model and you only do nude work and you're like, oh, it's so empowering, do you really truly feel that way? And if you do, that's awesome, and I respect you and I appreciate that you're following your truth. But if you aren't, then why are you lying and making other young women feel like that's the only way to feel empowered? Yeah. If a woman wants to wear a head wrap and dress modest, you know what I mean, and she feels empowered in that way, good for her. That's her truth. If a woman wants to be nude and she truly honestly feels empowered that way, good for her. That's her truth. You know what I mean? So I think it's about intention and doing what's best for yourself and what's true to your heart. Mm-hmm. That's just all I have to say.
It's so tricky.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like on the other side of that coin, a lot of the motivation behind that intent can strictly just be from guys, from the money that you get because the guys are paying to see it.
That's why it's a tricky
It's so tricky. I'm like... It's like everything you're saying makes sense, but I keep thinking of like being a man my whole life, and all the guys I know and the way they've talked about women, and I'm lucky that like pretty much every guy I associate with is not really bad about it. We're all really respectful men, which is great.
That's a blessing.
It is, because the guys that aren't, I don't hang out with them. Good. And there's a reason why. Yeah. It's annoying, but I know how a lot of men act and think, so it's
I mean, 94% of women... This is a real statistic. 94% of women have been raped or know someone that has been sexually assaulted in their life.
I believe it.
Yet not a lot of men know any rapists or people who have sexually assaulted. So who, it's
Yeah,
so
they're-
important to know who you're hanging out with, and if they are doing something like that, to check them, because you're supposed to protect each other. You know what I mean? You're supposed to love each
I mean,
other.
it's a very secret thing. Women aren't. A lot of people don't know that fact. Women aren't saying it, and a lot of men are. What man's gonna be like? Yeah, I.
Oh shit! maybe I did do that. Like,
Yeah.
they don't want to admit that.
Or they might not even realize it
That's
because
true.
they might be like, I don't know, I was drinking and so was she, and I don't know. And then you start to think a lot about it, like, oh no, what did happen? And even that, the spectrum of sexual assault, from drugging, and rape all the way to just making someone feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's a big spectrum, and a lot of women, I've dealt with a lot of it. So I mean, it's hard to talk about, but it's the truth.
It's gotta be in your line of work at your age, and you look a bit older. You're a model. That's gotta be hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been
And I've
around some
seen
strange
it.
situations.
Yeah. So I mean, I know, speaking from experience, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and I've heard people tell me that I'm crazy and that I'm afraid of men for no reason or whatever. I'm not afraid of men, you know what I mean? I'm just careful. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, thanks for coming here.
yeah. I mean, I carry stuff on me, so I'm not afraid. No offense, but
She just
and
has
I'm also a black belt, so
She has a Glock on her black belt.
Yep. That's where I keep the Glock in the black belt. That's
you wear
funny.
the black belt with the Glock. Like, I'm
In it.
double whammy in here.
Yeah, no one would fuck with you if they
No,
saw that.
I
They were
wouldn't.
like, damn, I'm not even going to catcall
It's
her.
so
What
funny
the
that you say that. You're not the first woman I met that I didn't know, but I was like really intrigued by your work, so I reached out, and they came in one.
Like, why is this house dark?
You're like, it's dark. I'm like, it's nighttime.
I called my boyfriend and I was like, I'm either gonna do a podcast or I'm about to be murdered. let's roll the dice.
Oh my god. Well, I hope you know that you're in a very good and safe and peaceful home.
Yeah, no, you've been very kind, and I share my location obviously with people. I'm not stupid, and that's
Yeah.
how I am with shoots too, because
Yeah.
you never know. I've had bad experiences with photographers, that are really creepy or just, I don't even want to talk about it, but I think it's always important to be careful and let people know where you are,
Yeah.
and just I don't
Smart.
go to shoots alone either. Like, every time I work with someone new, unless I've worked with them 3-4 times and I really trust them, I'm not going there alone. I bring my boyfriend or I bring my friend. You know what
That's
I mean?
smart.
And I think that's honestly why I'm so lucky. I can't imagine in some scenarios if I was alone at every shoot, I think it would be different,
Yeah.
which is sad to admit.
And
but
you've probably heard those stories from people.
yeah, I have. And it's really sad that a lot of the men still have careers and nothing happens. And the women have to carry it for the rest of their lives. And it's fucked up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's also a big part of the industry as well, is a lot of it is male dominated, and strictly a lot of men create for the male gaze. Like, some photographers are called... There's a whole genre of photography called ass photography, which is, it's a joke, but it's kind of true. It's where they basically, get women that are, wearing lingerie, and then they post them, and they just do these really, I guess, shots of their ass or their titties, or they're bent over, or it's very sexual. And to an extent, I understand how that's art. I understand if that's your purpose, but again, it all comes down to intention. Are you really doing that because you really appreciate the female form and you think it's art, like a sculpture? Or are you doing it because you're like, damn, these are hot as fuck, and I'm getting so much validation on Instagram, and everyone's sharing it and being like, oh, she's so sick, she's so hot, bro. You're the GOAT, you're awesome, it's so cool to be around all these hot women all the time. Like, which one is it? And that's a thing for yourself. No one else can tell you that. That's something that you have to be like, damn, why am I doing this? I think that's with every art. So
Oh, that's so
yeah, it's a
creepy.
slippery slope.
That's so creepy. It's so weird because it's the men's fault for doing that. But then they're like, I know for a fact a lot of women go into it with pure intention, but
Yeah.
that the fault that is the male's fault is being fueled by maybe a more naive or innocent woman, not like young girl. They just turned 18.
It could be that.
How old are a lot of the photographers when you're working with them? Like,
Damn, there's no set age. I've worked with photographers that are young as me.
okay,
I've worked with photographers that were 18 when I was 18. And I've worked with photographers when I was 18 that were fucking 60.
see, that's the one when they're like
Yep.
40, 50, 60, like,
But they've been doing it their whole life.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? So it's their passion. I get that. You know what I mean? And the thing with modeling is there's no real like if you are a model, you are a model. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, oh, you're only 18. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
No.
So
it could be just maybe yeah, it's
because like if an 18-year-old was like, hey, do you want to hang out with me? And you're 60, they'd be like, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
when you're in a setting where it's a photo shoot,
yeah, of course.
it's different.
No, it is.
So-
I've had musicians come in to record that are really young, 17, 18, 19. Like it happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the second that happens, the second I work with anybody, it's instant professionalism, and I still goof, I crack my jokes, but they're my client. I'm working with them on taking their art, I'm putting microphones in front of it and cameras and making videos and audio with it.
Wait,
And-
so sorry, this is off topic, but do you like make music, like produce it? We got to talk about that afterwards.
we'll talk about
we
it.
we gotta cook something up.
Yeah.
But anyways,
absolutely,
sorry.
absolutely. No, so I understand that feeling, but if I was just living life and a 17 or 18-year-old girl was like, "You want to hang out?" I'd be like, "No."
Like,
No.
what do you have in common? The fuck, nothing.
I don't want to. You either my student or a client. That's
Yeah.
that's all that age group. But it's like I don't really want to hang out. Like, what are we gonna hang out? Like, what are we gonna do?
Exactly. It
Like,
doesn't
you
make any
just
sense.
became legal to go see a rated R movie. You can't even drink alcohol. I'm not
Yeah.
hanging out with you.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so that's tricky. As soon as it's professional, I have no issue with it, but it can be a little. You never know the other person's intent. You don't know the girl's intent. Some girls also are trying to make steps,
No,
and
we actually did a at our studio. There was a documentary about male survivors of sexual trauma, and I didn't realize that was a fucking prevalent issue, but apparently it is. Unfortunately, most of the survivors were assaulted by other men.
yeah, that's the main thing.
But there were some that were women.
Yeah, no, it's
So I mean, every human has like the flaws. It's a slippery slope, especially when you're in such an industry where you are in a vulnerable state. When you're modeling, you're vulnerable.
oh yeah,
A lot of times you're not wearing much clothing, or you have to change or go into a changing room, or you know what I mean, or you're alone in a room with a random person you just met. So yeah, like no, it's a lot.
yeah, no, it is. It's. I'm glad that you came to talk about it because
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and I've always been curious. It's like we've been seeing models our whole life.
Yeah.
Us, commercials and movies and TV shows and magazines and album covers. There's models are everywhere, and I just no one in my life is in the modeling industry. The very few, I knew a couple women that went into it, but they kind of like they moved away. They went off.
Yeah.
I didn't stay friends with them, but other than that, I know no one. And it was back at your age, so this was like 10 years ago for me. 'Cause
Oh,
you're
wow.
right, not a lot of people.
Yeah, well, no one like
Dude,
around
my
your
age.
age would be
Unless they were
probably
already
doing it.
famous already or
Yeah.
something. Or again, like goddess genes that just
Or
they don't
nepotism.
age. Or nepotism.
Yep.
So at 21, you're saying modeling starts to slowly fade out. What are some of the next steps you'd like to take over the next 5-6 years? Is that too hard of a
Look.
question?
No, there's so much I want to accomplish and do that it's like, I don't know. I love modeling, but I don't want modeling. Like, if I could make modeling my career and get paid to, because I'm really fucking good at it. I know, my worth. I know how much I care about it. And I'm just waiting for someone to give me a chance. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a brand to see me or an agency to finally respect me enough or see that my nose or like my shape isn't bad and it's unique. And they realize that, they could actually, do something. But then again, it's about what makes money. Maybe I'm not in look anymore. Maybe I'm not in season anymore, which they speak about models like that. You know what I mean?
Season, huh?
Yes. It sucks, but I had an agent talk to me who said that they only want to work with people who are racially ambiguous and mixed race. They don't want anyone that looks white because you're not in season anymore. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, okay. Because, they're being honest because you're not going to get work through them because that's the type of stuff they're casting for or getting jobs for. And if they can't find you a job, then why the fuck would they hire you or take you on as a signee if you're not making money?
Yeah.
So I've been rejected by literally countless agencies. I'm hoping, sometime soon it falls into place. But, again, I think it's the universe, protecting me and, trying to make everything fall into place. Because even if I don't get into an agency, I know I'm going to keep doing what I do. if I have to take my own photos or do my own shoots, I'll do it. And I'm hoping, you know, brands reach out to me directly and, you know, I can create a really good vision, which is why I'm trying to get more into the photography, creative direction, video side. You know, and I've always loved acting. I've always loved modeling. I've always loved music. But I'm trying to kind of, you know, make money also.
Yeah, you got to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't feel comfortable going back to a 9-to-5. You know, I lived that life. It sucked. I wanted to die every day. So I was like, no, I'm going to literally do whatever it takes so I don't work something like that. And like, I do work for someone else right now, but it's more of like a partnership, I feel, than like I'm working for a huge mega corporation and they don't care about me and I could die the next day and my desk would be filled. You know what I mean? So I do love my job and I'm really happy that I get to work in the creative space still, while I'm also building myself up. Because a lot of people don't get to do that. They're like working a job they hate, but they're also doing their stuff on the side, hoping that their stuff on the side takes over. Yeah. But I'm doing both. So it's really like, it's lucky, I guess.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
The job is like really similar and it's in the same vein. So.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. I feel like the universe really came through for me. So yeah.
Well, you yield it. You know, you made it happen.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, I've worked my ass off. Like I got a job. I started working when I was 16. I started working at Jewel Osco, and then I started working as a model, and I did that, and then I worked at Petco, and I worked in the ISO room, so I'd give all the animals their medicine, and take care of all the sick animals, and that was really, it was sad, but it was really, you know, rewarding. Then when I was 18, what did I start working? Oh, I started working at Hooters when I was like 17.
What was that like?
It sucked.
I was going to say, like, that job sounds crazy.
Yeah, the people there, like the people I worked with made up for it. I had amazing coworkers, which was super dope, but the hours were trash. The people I dealt with were trash. It's also a restaurant.
Well, I hate to break it to
trash.
You, but the guys who go to Hooters, they're trash.
They're trash. Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I went.
I mean, their food's good. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, they got
not
great,
to plug Hooters or whatever.
They got great wings, but like...
Yeah.
The name's called Hooter.
Exactly. Most of the guys go there. It's two people. It's like families with like 5 children that just want
bizarre.
Wings. I know, it's really odd, but that literally was our main clientele. It's like families that just want food.
Which location?
Or weird guys on the Hooters in Orland Park.
Oh, I go over there all the time. That Whole
Foods
on
so
157th, right?
Oh, yeah.
On the Grange. I go there all the time.
Yeah, so I worked there for a little bit while I was in high school, and that was weird. Then I quit. I forgot what I started doing. Oh, yeah. Then I, went to college.
Well, you didn't finish saying the other type of people. You said families and then...
Oh, it's families and then, like, weird guys. That's I thought it was given, but
I thought you were going to say that, but I wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah, no,
family
it's just like...
and creepers.
Like, divorced men. There was a guy called the Zodiac Killer who had a... No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. You were laughing, but I was scared, bro.
He's called the Zodiac Killer.
No, you want to know why? Because
he killed people and left signs in the newspaper?
No. He printed out pictures. So we'd take a picture with one of the girls, print it out, and then put it in a binder. And then he would ask them their birthday and be like, oh, you're a Capricorn. This is everything I know about Capricorns. This is the way that you are. And I'm a Capricorn, right? So I was like, oh, cool. And he was like, can I get a picture with you? And I was like, no. Because I knew what he was like, and I knew he was gonna print out. He prints out like essays of like stuff about our sign and the reason, the way that we are. And he was like, and like I'm sure he has some psychological problems or something. So I wasn't trying to be a dick to him, but I don't want to be involved. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I'm a 17-year-old girl. Stay the fuck away from me.
That's so messed up.
Yeah.
That guy was not clear-headed.
Yeah, a lot of the girls were like, oh, he's just trying to be nice, he'll tip me, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with him. Get the fuck away from me.
Anyone who's taking your photo, putting it in a binder and writing out your zodiac for underage girls he doesn't know, I mean, I don't know how much more evidence you need. This guy's asking to get caught up. When he
approached me and he was like, can I get a photo with you? And at first I'm like, okay, because weirdly enough, we always took photos with people. Like, people come up to us and be like, oh, you're a Hooters girl. Can I get a photo with you? And so you kind of just had to say yes. That? Yeah, like teenage boys or like divorced guys that want to like prove to their ex-wife they're doing better. I don't know.
Very specific. Sounds like you've experienced some things before. This one guy, they're just trying to tell their wife that they're doing better. It's just
I mean, that did happen to me, but
yeah.
But yeah, so I went through some crazy... you
got some stories, huh?
Yeah, and I was also modeling at the time, so you can imagine the weirdness of my life. And yeah, so then I I started going to college. I went to community college, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really know what to do with my life. So I took art classes, I took graphic design, I took film classes, I took marketing classes, video editing classes, like just stuff I was interested in.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like, I mean, I took math and like English and shit. And I also took a poetry class, which really I fell in love with.
That's awesome.
I ended up
you write
getting
poetry?
Yeah, and I ended up getting kicked out of the class because I never showed up. So, because it just was too hard. I was modeling and I was doing like so much other stuff with my life that I couldn't go to school ever. Like it sucked. But yeah, he was like, you know what, you're gonna fail. You should just drop the class. And I was like, damn, really?
That's true though. Trust me, coming from that side now, like I wish more students were aware of the timeline of withdrawing and instead of getting an F, you know?
He was like, you should just drop. Like, seriously, you're not going to...
Just take the W.
Yep. And so I was like, fuck,
it's not that expensive of a school, you know, so take the W.
Yeah, I mean, it still cost me like $2,000 because I had to drop out, but...
Oh, other classes too.
Yeah, I was never in school. Funny enough, the way I dropped out of college was really funny. I pulled up in my car, I had my backpack and my iced coffee, and I looked at my college. I went to Moraine Valley, by the way, for like 2 years. And I stood in front of the school, and I was like, nah, I'm not going in there. I'm never going back here. And I threw my backpack in the car and never went back. That's literally how I dropped out. I was walking into graphic design class and just said, nah. And just turned around, and I never went back. And funny enough, it was the best thing I ever did. Because I can't imagine where my life would be right now. I wouldn't have this job. I wouldn't have done all the things I did. I wouldn't have moved out. So it's like, it's really crazy. But as soon as I dropped out, I started applying to jobs as a social media manager. Because I was like, I'm a teen. I know how to do social media. Should be so easy. So I got a job doing that. Then I learned marketing. I got Google Ads certified. I started doing more marketing, teaching myself Facebook ads, everything. I started my own business selling lashes. So I learned everything about...
Eyelashes?
Yes. Yeah. So I started doing that, even though I wasn't really privy to like makeup or like into that space really heavy. But I was like, fuck it, it's a cool idea. And I just did it. And so I learned so much. And then I ended up doing an internship, a photography internship for Gauge Diamonds. So I did like engagement shoots and stuff. Then I did a baby clothing company. I was a photographer and head of marketing there. And then I was like, funny enough, I also quit my job that way by walking at my desk. I was like, there's like a fuck ton of paperwork I had to do. And I was like, nah. And I just left. And
you say nah and dip on something often, huh?
Yes. I don't know why, but my instinct is like, I just like follow whatever my heart says. Like I'll put up with it and I'll keep going and I'll keep going. And then something in me is like, nah, this isn't right. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. Like this is not aligning with my soul. And I feel so frustrated. Like I feel like when I'm in a flow state, like everything's just working out perfectly, that's when I'm doing something right. But when I'm trying so hard or like it's really frustrating and my life just isn't making sense, I'm like, something isn't right. And that job didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. So I ended up walking out. It was February of 20-something. And COVID happened.
2020.
COVID happened. I didn't have a job. I was like, oh, fuck. And the funny thing is about that job is I walked out, but I was like, oh, hey, sorry, I had a mental breakdown. Can you guys let me work from home? And they're like, sure. And I was like, oh, cool. So then the next day I saw my job on Indeed. And I was like, oh, can I not work from home anymore? And they're like, yeah, you're fired. So I worked there for one day.
Why'd they say yeah?
I don't know. And then they fired me.
Huh.
And I was like, okay.
You weren't going to tell me?
Yeah. So I worked there and then they fired me. And I was like, all right, cool. And then, yeah, so I didn't have a job for a long time, which sucked. I applied to like 400 jobs. Couldn't get a single one. It was like the height of COVID. Everything was locked down. Yeah, 471 jobs. I still remember seeing that on Indeed. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm screwed. So by the grace of God, I somehow managed to survive on savings and like unemployment and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I forgot when I started working, but I had a video shoot. I was like doing a music video or whatever. And for this artist named Sprato, who's really talented. If anyone's listening to this, go listen to him. He's awesome. But yeah, I did a video shoot for him. And we were at this gorgeous studio, this movie studio or whatever, like film studio, cool setups. And I was talking to the guy who owns the space. His name's Paul John. He's super dope. He's done like Juice WRLD's videos, like Lil Peep's videos. Like he's done major shit. And so I was like, I don't care what I have to do. I want to work here. I will work for free until you start paying me. Like, and he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I really like your energy. You're really cool. Like, cause I was just trying to be nice. You know what I mean? And like, I guess charm him a little bit. So I was like, hey, like, I really want to work here. You know what I mean? Are you guys hiring? He was like, no, we're not hiring. And my friend at the time worked there. You know, the guy I was talking about, he was working there. And I was like, hey, like, is there any way, you know, what do I do? How do I work here? And he was like, just show up. I was like, what? He was like, just show up every day and that he's not going to kick you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't have any money and I just was working for free for like a while, just being like, oh yeah, I'm just going to show up and help you do stuff and you'll see how amazing I am. Mm-hmm. So then he started giving me more responsibilities. I was like, I can edit videos. He's like, really? And I was like, yes, I can edit videos. Open Premiere right now. And so I showed him that I could edit videos. He was like, oh. And then I started doing photos and he was like, oh. And then I was like actually really loyal and showed up every day on time. And he was like, oh, okay, you're actually valuable. Cool, I'll hire you. So that's how I started working there. I just kind of forced myself in there.
You're there to this day.
Yep. Well, no, I'm not there for that was the old movie studio.
Okay.
Yeah, so I worked there for like a year actually.
Okay, and that got you to where you are now.
Yeah, because I mean then, funny enough, the timelines, well, I ended up kind of leaving. It was a mutual thing kind of. We both kind of were just like, nah. And I didn't really like working there anymore. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't aligned with me anymore. Mm-hmm. And luckily enough, something kind of happened that kind of pushed me even farther away. And I was like, okay, this is it. So weirdly enough, the next week, I had like a major health crisis. Ended up almost dying in the hospital. Couldn't work for 4 months.
Oh my God.
And then as soon as I started getting better, he posted that job for a studio manager. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, give me that.
Yeah.
So I showed up and I was like, let's have a meeting in person. I will tell you all my ideas. And I just started talking about all the things I wanted to do and how I'm super into set design and creative direction. And I was like, I want to work here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one else will do as hard of a job as I will. Like,
apparently
I'll work
not.
super hard.
You just force things to happen, apparently.
I mean, I don't like settling, to be honest.
You're a hard worker.
Yeah, and I'll prove it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just sit back and be lazy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that's what, I think especially in a male-dominated industry, they respect that because that's how a lot of men assume that you're going to be lazy or incompetent as a woman, unfortunately. Or they think, oh, you're just good-looking and you're charming or whatever. Like, but I actually have skills, you know what I mean? I actually taught myself all this stuff to be valuable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it all worked out.
Wow.
And that's my life story.
It's been interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty.
Of course.
It's been very helpful and enlightening, and especially like at such a young age. You're very wise for such a young
thank
age.
you.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, I've been through a lot. That's why I'm
Sounds like it. I'm glad that everything worked out with the health and everything.
I know it's crazy. Like, I think that's why I'm so blessed and like, well, not why I'm so blessed, but why I'm so grateful. Because like, I shouldn't be here right now. Like, I had a 1% chance of survival. Yes.
Now you have me really curious.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I've talked about it before. It was on my Instagram. But I had an ectopic pregnancy. And so, basically, it's a pregnancy that it's not in your uterus. It's in your fallopian tube. Mm-hmm. If it goes undiagnosed, it should burst. And you should most likely bleed out and die. I went undiagnosed for 3 months. So I should not be here right now. The doctors didn't know what was going on. I went to like 3 different doctors. They all did ultrasounds. They were like, yeah, there's nothing there. Sorry, you're probably just having a miscarriage. Take some Tylenol. But my instincts were so like, there's something wrong. Like I feel it. I don't know why, but all these doctors are telling me I'm crazy, but I feel like something's wrong. Even my boyfriend, love him to death, even he didn't believe me. He was like, dude, you're just being crazy. You know what I mean? You had a miscarriage. You're probably going through trauma, whatever. And I was like, no, I really, truly think something's wrong with me. And lo and behold, I go to an actual specialist, a woman's health doctor who specializes in that stuff. And she was like, oh, yeah, you definitely have an ectopic pregnancy. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I started crying and like screaming. I was like, what the fuck? I knew it. You know what I mean? And the craziest part was my boyfriend's mom's friend actually had passed away that month from an ectopic pregnancy. So it really hit me close to home because I was like, that should have been me, bro. Like, there's no reason I should be here. But luckily enough, this is kind of how strong, I guess, my faith was. I literally was like, the whole time that I was going through that, I was listening to binaural beats and keep telling myself in my head, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healing, I'm strong, my body's in perfect health. And I really think that helped me because they said my body was healing itself. A doctor literally came into the room and he was like, I know this is weird, but you are a medical miracle. And he shook my hand and was like, it's an honor to know you. It's an honor to meet you in 20 years of practice. I've never seen this before. There's no reason you should be alive, but you are because your body healed itself. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it stopped growing and it started reversing. Your body literally started doing all the work that a medicine should do. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, bro, when I tell you I was so shocked and so confused. Wild. That's how I really started believing in the power of like sound therapy and your soul, like in energy, because I don't know if I'd be alive without it, to be honest. So, I mean, but everything worked out. Yep.
I admire your positivity.
Oh, thank you.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
And you were so young when that happened.
Yeah, it was probably the darkest time of my life, to be honest.
Sounds awful.
Yeah,
it sounds painful, too.
Oh, yeah. Physically, I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the darkest time of my life, for sure. And I mean, it fucking sucked, but I'm not going to lie to you. I realized how strong I was because my whole life I was like, oh, I'm so weak. I'm such an empath. You know, I'm so soft, you know, and I hated that. But I'm like, I'm also very strong. And I think that's the beauty of being a woman. You know what I mean? You know, like male energy is more, you know, the yin and the yang. You know, female energy is dark. It's the yang and it's heavy. But it's also powerful and it's strong and it's beautiful and graceful, but it's also, you know, we go through a lot of pain, but there's also that other side to it, you know, it's duality. So, I mean, we do go through a lot of pain, we go through a lot of suffering sometimes, but we have the softness and we have a heart and we have empathy, you know what I mean? And like, not saying that men don't have that, but I feel like women have that instinct a little bit stronger.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I think it's beautiful.
Comes with it being the one who has to carry the baby, you know.
Yeah,
it's
and
natural.
I think, I mean, my whole life, you know, I've been doing a lot of work on like the divine feminine and stuff and like figuring that out because I feel like that's very important on my journey.
It's a good record.
Oh, Mac Miller?
Yeah.
Yes. But I was actually talking about the
No, I know. I was just
No,
making my
you're
jokes.
right. That's a very beautiful album that literally, like, I feel like worships women and honors them in a beautiful way. So I appreciate that he did that, you know what I mean? He clearly respects women, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, before I put it in, I smack her ass type shit. Polo G. You know, the Chicago shit we listen to.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, that's just what I've heard. And so I feel like, what was I even saying? Because Polo G threw me off.
You said divine feminine. I don't know. You threw me off.
Yeah, sorry. Shout out to Polo G for being super catchy, but also degrading women. Oof. What a double-edged sword. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I feel like it showed like my strength and I was so mad and I was like, man, like women don't get time off of work for their periods despite being in excruciating pain. Men think that childbirth is easier than getting kicked in the balls.
I don't think that. Whoever thinks that's crazy.
I know, but there's actual men that think that. And I mean...
I don't ever want to understand what it could feel like to have a child...
A watermelon
come out of
stretch out of you. It's fucking
little,
crazy.
tiny hole. Like, it sounds awful.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so much beauty in it because you're creating life, but there's so much pain in it too. And that's why a lot of people don't realize, like, women are so... That's to say every woman's a goddess in her own right. You know what I mean? That's why I have so much respect for women and I love to connect and collaborate with other women artists. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. And I feel like that really showed me my strength as a woman is going through that, which definitely helped a lot, you know, with my confidence and I don't know, just a lot of stuff. Recognizing my strength because now I feel like I went through that What else? Like, what could possibly happen that'd be worse than that? You know what I mean? Well, knock on wood. Is this wood?
It's not.
Okay. Whatever. Fuck it. Bring it on. Shit.
The wall behind you's wood. There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
But yeah.
Between that and the things you had to go through in the different creative industries dominated by men, and the abuse, the modeling abuse, just the little things to the big things.
Yeah.
I'd say you're pretty strong.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I had to be, yeah.
But all of it, like, you're a very strong individual. I think
Thank
that's
you.
why you're driven with constantly going forward, saying nah to one thing, such as school or a job, and just keep doing your thing. The photography, music, videography,
Yeah.
set design, acting.
Yeah, I used to be in plays.
Acting,
Yeah.
dance.
I do a lot, yeah.
It's good, but like, yeah, you're a strong person. Keep doing those things.
Thank you. I
know?
appreciate that.
You're welcome. How you feeling? You've been here a while.
Really? I talk a lot, so
don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah, we're at a good 2 hours and 40 minutes, give or take. Did you know that?
God damn.
Right?
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
I talk so much.
No, I'm here too, helping.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
We still haven't talked about my music.
No. Jesus Christ. You just ruined my career.
I'm so sorry. I
Oh,
just thought that was funny.
that was epically loud. All right.
Well, you heard my falsetto.
Let's talk about your music.
Do we even have time?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
True. Shit. I should get home soon, but you're right. Yeah, I've been making music. I have a project on the way.
So calm.
Sorry for
so hello, I've been making music. What is your
After
music under?
screaming
What
in
is
your
the name
eardrum.
under?
So I changed it. It was like winter, but now I'm just going by Ayden because that's my name.
That's summer, fall,
No.
autumn.
Well, I was
spring.
born in December.
Me too. When's your birthday?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
December 30th.
I'm the 14th.
Sagittarius.
I guess. I don't know anything about
Lame.
astrology. Anything.
Really? I gotta teach you, man. Astrology has been like a guiding force in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Oh boy, here we
It's
go.
See, people say that, and then I read their chart.
Read
and
my
they're like,
chart.
I definitely will. But
Right
like,
now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
How do we do it?
You pull up your chart.
On what? On my phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing a live chart reading.
So I go to Google and I type in my zodiac chart.
Or like just free birth chart, I guess. You
Free
can-
bird.
I like AstroSeek.
Wait, Astros? Which
Yeah.
one should I do? Astro?
Just look up AstroSeek birth chart.
I don't know anything about
I'm kind of
astrology.
more educated in like tropical zodiac instead of like,
Is that it?
let me see. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when's your birthday? 14th.
December
of
14th.
December. Do you know what time you were born?
I do.
What year?
1989. At
1980.
same year as Taylor Swift. She's 1 day older than me.
Are you serious?
And I'm so much richer than her.
Of course. Oh wait, what time were you born?
9:22 p.m.
Interesting. Okay, 9.
And on a Thursday.
I was born on Thursday too.
Look at that.
Amazing. 9:30 p.m.
9:22 p.m.
Oh, 22. Sorry, did not hear you. Okay. And where were you born?
Palos Hills. Palos Hospital.
Oh, cool. My stepmom works there.
Really?
Yeah.
What does she do there?
She's a respiratory therapist.
Nice.
Nice.
Hopefully I never meet her because that means that means,
Hopefully I never meet her.
that means
'cause-
I'm in the hospital needing respiratory work. So.
Wow. Okay, so your first house, so your ascendant is basically what you portray to the world, and it also can be when you wake up in the morning, what you need, and also what you strive towards or what lessons you need to learn in your lifetime. Yours is Leo. So your ruler is the sun. Which let me explain because you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So basically, people with Leo ascendant need to use their creativity, authority, and power. They're looking for love, admiration, and applause. Some might push to the front by force and be eccentric. They should strive to become an independent and distinct person. Potential danger of these people is their pride. They must first show a good effort in order to deserve respect and admiration. Those who fail to shine may become bitter. So that's your ascendant.
That could be me, could not be.
It could. I don't know you.
I don't know. See, I'm not one to make that decision either because I know myself too well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting to like study it and be like, whoa. Because there's some things that I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, for example, hold on. It's hard to explain, but there's houses in astrology, and houses rule certain parts of yourself. So your first house is your sense of self. Your second house builds upon that. It's like your resources in this life to help build yourself. So your money, your career, etc. It also could be like personal relationships to help you gain whatever. So my Venus is in Scorpio in the second house, which Venus in Scorpio is a very passionate, creative individual. And being in my second house means that I will typically be an artist. And I'll have a lot of different passions in life. And so, you know, whenever I read people's charts, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, oh, I'll just say something to them and like, oh shit. Like I was reading my friend's chart. I'm not going to expose him or say his name, but he went through a lot of trauma. And I was like, I know it sounds weird, but you have Capricorn in your fourth house and you have Scorpio in this house. I forgot the specifics, but it seems like you have sexual trauma from an older woman in your life. And I know it sounds really weird. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. And he was like, holy fuck. How did you know that? And I was like, it's in your chart. And he was like, he literally sent me a video crying and explaining everything and being like, dude, you like gave me insight on like how to heal and stuff. And like, cause astrology just doesn't tell you your story. It tells you how you can like little tidbits of your life that you may need to work on or little things you may be prone to. It's not like, here's who you are. This is set in stone. It's like, you might be prone to this. Watch out for it. Or here's an area of your life that you may need to focus on. Like I have Saturn in my 7th house and Jupiter in my 7th house, which means I'll tend to get married later in my life, like after my Saturn return at 28, but I won't get married more than once, probably, if the cards are right. But that's what it says. So I'm like...
See, the only... Like, it's so interesting. It's fascinating. But where... I get your smile.
Like, where's the butt?
Where it... I can't fully grasp is 2 words you said.
Sure. Go for it.
She's like, I'm going to kill you. I got my black belt. I got my gun.
I'm not judging. I'm just like
You
interested.
said may and might. And most people, in fact, everyone, when they talk about astrology, say may and might often with not
because
certainty.
You have self-will. That's
exactly.
the thing.
And that's where I'm like, but you can't prove any of it. And that's where the self-will, that's where I can't get fully into
But that's
it.
the thing. If you meet someone with the same time as you and your birth chart in the same day, like you might have a very similar life. And that's crazy to me.
T-Swift?
Maybe. I mean, look at what you do. You're involved in music.
Maybe.
It's not to the extent because
Maybe.
perhaps you have a different aspects of it.
Sure.
And she also has rich parents. I'm not sure of your life.
Not rich.
Okay, gotcha.
Tell you that.
So, see, I mean, it just there's a lot of aspects to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm up for the discussion.
Of course. That'll be another 4 hours.
Next time you come on. Next time.
Yeah, I was like, that's a whole...
I would love for you to go further with it because anybody who knows... The problem I face is I don't really know anybody who has done it for a while, knows a lot about it, can go further. What you said is already more than anybody else I've ever heard say about it. So that means you at least...
I mean, some people are just like, my son's this. And your son is such a small aspect of it. Your son is your sense of self typically. And like I'm a Capricorn son. Capricorns are known for being hardworking. They're earth signs. They're down to earth. They're bosses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's only a small aspect of me. You know what I mean? My Sagittarius my Mercury's in Sagittarius. My Scorpio, or my Venus is in Scorpio. My North Node's in Leo. You know what I mean? So
I don't know what you mean.
yeah.
But because I don't know what any of this stuff means. So when
I guess I'm just talking, but it's like because I say it and I
Pluto?
know what it means.
Does Pluto get anything?
Yes, Pluto's actually the planet of sex, destruction, rebirth. Pluto's like kind of
but
ruled
it's not
by
a
Saturn.
planet anymore.
Damn, you just canceled all of astrology. You got me. Holy shit. Damn.
I'm having too much fun.
Yeah.
You've been a lot of fun.
Thank you. I try.
We still haven't gone fully in your music. Please
Maybe
don't scream
another
again.
2.5. Maybe in another 2.5 hours. Maybe eventually we'll get to it. I mean, there's not much to say because I've been working on it since I was 17, and this project, because I like had my first like boyfriend-ish experience, and I got my heart shattered, and I was like, I need to write. So I wrote a song, and I was like, I'm gonna make this a project. And then I wrote a bunch of other songs, and then I never recorded them. I couldn't find a not only being like really, I guess, frugal with my money, but I haven't found an audio engineer that I really trust, because I went to Envion, and no offense to Envion, they're dope. They've created a lot of amazing artists and soundtracks, but they are primarily for rappers, and they did not know how to do what I wanted, I guess.
What are you looking to do?
Well, basically, I just wanted something clean and like sounds like very flowy and melodic, and they were doing like they made it really trappy, I guess, and I was like, okay. And I already have the beat and I already have the songs written. I just need to record them.
Are you singing?
Yeah.
So you just need to sing.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
You just need a vocal mic.
And mixing and mastering probably,
Oh.
but yeah, and I just haven't found anyone that I trust, because I also went to my roommate's brother who's really into music and does it for a living. He just did a commercial for Kit Kat, and he was like, I'll do it for you for free. I was like, cool. And then he sent it to me, and I was like, oh, this isn't what I wanted at all. And I was like, fuck.
Interesting. We could talk afterwards, because if
Yeah.
not through myself, I know of so many people that
Yeah,
at
that would
least,
be great. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to describe your vision because it's like it's sound.
Yeah.
Like visually, I could be like, "This is a square, and this is what I want." But
Yeah.
it sounded. Can you make it go woo?
Yeah.
Like you're like,
I
what
just
are you
had this
talking
conversation
about?
earlier today about this. Yeah, sonic words are impossible. There's only one, and it's timbre. And that is describe the overall tonal quality of a sound as the timbre. But other than that, there are no actual sound-related words. They're all
Yeah.
physical and visual words that we put onto sound.
That's literally so. Funny enough, I wrote in my notebook the way I wanted the sound wave to look, and I showed him, and he was like, "Girl, what is that?" And I was like, "I want it to go like this. I want the song. I want the end to go like woo." And he was like, "What are you?" And I was like, in my head, it made sense,
the
but
acid, I tell you.
I swear, because I was
You're
like,
you're hilarious. I want the silent to go woo. Okay.
yeah, I just that's what I did. I wrote it down on paper.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's
so that didn't work.
No, it would not
So,
work in any universe.
That's why I tried to like. I kind of wanted to start making my own music, like audio engineering. But I took a class in it, and I was like, this isn't. Like that's not for me. Like I do so much other stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like I just need to find someone that I really can work with, and like actually like they care about building the project, and like they understand the sound that I want. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard to put into words. But when you have a really good connection with someone, or like artistically you guys are on the same wave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to do that in Chicago. Like I haven't met that many people, so it's kind of a blessing that we're here. Hey,
It is.
But yeah,
It is.
so
That's my world.
that's dope.
Very
Definitely
cool.
looking forward
We'll
to
talk
it.
about it.
Yay!
That's we got through the music. I'm
Yes.
glad we never got to a place where you were like at the beginning, you're like, well, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna ask you questions, because you're like, I'm talking like, yeah, I'm interviewing you.
I mean, yeah, but we talked so much about, and you really gave me a lot of insights too, which I appreciate. Like when you were talking about your acid trip, or I'm sorry, your mushrooms trip.
Yeah.
Like I was like, holy shit. And it all clicked, and I was like, you've been through so much stuff that I went through. So yeah, cool.
There
I
you
thought
go.
it was a very natural conversation.
It was.
So
It was
yeah,
very good.
hell yeah.
It was nice to
Fist
meet
bump.
you.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you for coming here. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for teaching me about the slope of a nose.
And what a BBL is.
That's my favorite thing of all time.
yes. I'm glad that's what you got.
What
out
does
of
it
this
stand for again?
conversation. Brazilian butt lift.
Brazilian butt lift. No,
Yes.
I learned a lot. It
Me
was
too.
really informative. So thank you for your honesty, Ayden. And
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And thank you
welcome.
for letting me talk to a microphone for 3 hours.
scream into one.
Whoops.
I look forward to all the things you do
Oh,
from
thank you.
the spectrum of all the creative stuff. It's really cool.
Oh, I
so keep doing
appreciate
it,
it.
especially at such a young age, doing so many things. I admire it. Keep doing it.
Thank you. Gonna
You're
make my
welcome.
heart happy. Thank
You're welcome.
you.
We'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.